You killed Mira. Just wait. You all wait for me. Boom. With a loud blast, Mira was annihilated, while Tao was enveloped in a black mist, disappearing with the Dragon Ball in front of everyone's eyes. Oh no! The Dragon Ball. Seeing that the Dragon Ball was still taken away, Trunks couldn't help but feel regret. He then turned to look at the mysterious person who had attacked Tao and Mira just now, his expression immediately changing from gloom to brightness. Teacher. So, the mysterious person who killed Mira was none other than Lin Chen. Lin Chen landed on the ground, and saw that Trunks was fine, but Vegeta was still lying on the ground, bound by a strange force. Lin Chen raised his hand and sent out a divine power, attempting to free Vegeta from the constraint. But as he turned his head, he realized that his divine power was actually absorbed. So, this is the power of the demon god that Konoha-sama mentioned. This power can absorb godly ki. No wonder Vegeta is in such a sorry state. Lin Chen waved his hand, directly using the power of destruction this time, destroying the strange force. Thank you, Your Majesty, Vegeta. Lin Chen shook his head and said, Planet Namek is about to disappear, let's leave from here first. Hearing that, Trunks reacted, yes, history has been corrected. If we don't leave now, we might affect history. So, with Lin Chen's help, everyone passed through the space-time door and left this world, leaving behind Goku from this timeline, looking puzzled as he watched the disappearing figures of the others. Who are they? Goku muttered in confusion. But at that moment, a weak voice behind him caught his attention. Help me, please, I don't want to die. Goku turned around and realized that it was Frieza, who had been split in two by Vegeta earlier, pleading for help. Frost Demon's vitality was incredibly strong. Even in such a state, Frieza had yet to die. Thinking of his best friend Krillin dying at Frieza's hands, Goku couldn't help but feel the urge to turn away and leave. Help me. I'll give you some energy, what happens next is up to you. The history of this timeline was thus restored to its proper course. In the Dragon Ball world, a timeline typically consists of several parts. The mortal world, where humans and all living beings reside. The sacred realm, usually inhabited by higher-level gods such as Supreme Kai and God of Destruction. Otherworld, where all beings go after death and where the Kais who oversee the mortal world reside. This is the usual structure of a timeline. Beyond this, the world is composed of over 100 timelines, which is the entire Dragon Ball world. However, there are two places that exist independently of these timelines. The Time Nest, where the Supreme Kai of Time resides. The Dark Demon Realm, where all sealed evil beings were gathered. In the Dark Demon Realm, thick dark clouds cover the sky day and night. Due to the harsh environment, it has become a world of survival of the fittest, where only the strongest beings can survive. To survive, many strong beings claim to be demon kings, ruling and dominating their own territories within the demon realm. However, these so-called demon kings are nothing more than clowns in a circus. Because the true ruler of the demon realm is someone else entirely. And this ruler lives in the heart of the demon king's castle in the demon realm. In the vast palace of the demon king's castle, a figure suddenly emerged from the black mist, looking disheveled. Before this figure could even stand up, an old and deep voice sounded beside them. Tawa, why have you returned so quickly? And injured too? Mira is also missing. Accompanying the voice, a black demonic power surged into Tawa's body. After a while, the previously pale-faced Tawa gradually regained a healthy complexion, and the power she had exhausted while time-traveling quickly recovered. Tawa straightened her clothes and spoke respectfully to the figure in front of her, "Thank you, Lord Mechikabura." The person who had just healed Tawa was none other than the master of the Demon King's castle, the actual ruler of the current Dark Demon realm, Demon God Mechikabura. As a powerful being capable of rivaling the power of the Grand Priest, Mechikabura shouldn't have appeared so old. Unfortunately, in the battle against the Grand Priest years ago, Mechikabura's life force was sealed, leading to unstoppable aging. It was precisely to undo this aging process that Mechikabura entered into a cooperative agreement with the dragon god Zalama. Lord Mechikabura, Mira and I encountered trouble. Mira was killed in battle, but I didn't fail you and managed to retrieve a Dragon Ball, Tawa said, bowing her head as she presented the Dark Super Dragon Ball she obtained at the cost of Mira's life. The Dark Super Dragon Ball was about the same size as Earth's Dragon Balls, but it was entirely black, with the 5-star pattern representing the number of stars on the Dragon Ball bright red like blood. Oh! Seeing the Dragon Ball, Mechikabura's old body trembled slightly. But he quickly regained his composure and turned to the figure hiding in the darkness nearby. Zalama, come and take a look. A green hand extended from the darkness and made the grabbing motion towards Tawa's hand. Immediately, the Dragon Ball in her hand flew up and landed in the other person's hand. Following that, a figure resembling a Namekian, the dragon god Zalama, stepped out. He glanced around and nodded, saying, "Well done, Mechikabura. This is the Dark Super Dragon Ball. My power isn't yet at its peak, so I cannot summon the Dragon Balls all at once. Each Dragon Ball still needs to absorb the soul power of evil beings to be completely complete. This Dragon Ball has absorbed pure evil energy and is now usable. So, as agreed, I will fulfill my part of the promise." Zalama finished speaking and pointed a finger at Mechikabura. Immediately, a surge of power of miracles flowed into Mechikabura's body. Then, a miraculous transformation occurred. The once elderly Mechikabura gradually grew taller again. Although his face remained aged, in the end, Mechikabura, who had been small before, became as tall as Zalama standing next to him. He, Zalama, your power of miracles is truly miraculous. I can feel the lost life force beginning to reinvigorate. Amazing. Mechikabura stood up from his throne, clenching his powerful fists tightly. He then looked at Tawa and said, "Tawa, you said Mira is dead. Mira's power far exceeds that of ordinary demons. Someone managed to kill him." Upon hearing this, Tawa's eyes narrowed as she said, "My lord, the one who attacked us was the Time Patrol of the Supreme Kai of Time. But the one who truly killed Mira was a Saiyan." Saiyan. My lord, I don't know if you remember that previously someone interfered with our plan to disrupt the timelines and break the Demon Realm seal. Is it him? The Dark Demon Realm has a special seal on the outside that restricts the people of the Demon Realm from entering the mortal world. However, over time, the seal had weakened considerably. A long time ago, a small number of people from the Demon Realm could already travel to the mortal world. But those people were weak demons, the real powerful ones couldn't break through the seal. However, in the past, Demon Realm experts under Mechikabura never gave up on finding a way to break the seal. Using androids like Mira was one of the solutions they found. Because androids aren't demons, they aren't restricted by the seal and can freely enter and exit the Dark Demon Realm. So, Mechikabura had the relatively weak sorceress Tawa cooperate with android Mira to go to the mortal world, attempting to disrupt the timeline and break the seal. At first, the plan seemed successful, but soon Mechikabura learned that their plan had been disrupted by a Saiyan that the Supreme Kai of Time found. Unexpectedly, it was him again. I never thought that besides that guy, there would be a Saiyan with such skills. Tawa, what's this person's strength like? Reporting to my lord, although I only saw that person briefly, I suspect that his strength is at least at the Divine Realm 2nd level or higher. At this moment, both Mechikabura and Zalama's gazes sharpened. Divine Realm 2nd level, what does that mean? He is at least on par with angel level experts. Can a mere Saiyan really have that kind of strength? Is this possible? Even if it's that guy, he couldn't have reached such a level, right? Now there is a Saiyan actually stronger than him. Zalama said. It's absolutely true. Tawa affirmed. Mechikabura's body trembled slightly as he carefully observed Tawa. When he saw that Tawa's expression showed no signs of exaggeration, Mechikabura couldn't help but ask, "Tawa, who is this Saiyan?" "He's from World 14, a Saiyan from Universe 7, named Lin Chen." "Salama, what do you think?" After confirming that Tawa's words were not false, Mechikabura turned to look at Salama beside him. The dragon god Salama's gaze narrowed for a moment, then he suddenly raised his hand, sending a power of miracles toward Tawa, which transformed into a seed and landed in Tawa's hand. "This is Miss Tawa, thank you for providing the information and the first Dragon Ball. I heard your android was destroyed. This seed can revive him. I hope you continue your efforts and gather the remaining Dragon Balls soon," Salama said. Hearing that, Tawa's face lit up with joy. "Really? Thank you, Lord Salama." Mechikabura was somewhat surprised at Salama's generosity and waved at Tawa. "Tawa, since that's the case, you may leave for now. After you've rested, start searching for the next Dragon Ball immediately." "Yes, I'll take my leave." Saying that, Tawa disappeared amidst a cloud of black mist once again. After she left, Mechikabura turned to Salama and said, "You were unexpectedly generous, Salama, giving my people the seed of power of miracles. Humph, we're at the final stage of our plan. There can be no slack. I need all your people to search for the Dragon Balls with full force. What about the Time Patrol? I'm worried about the Saiyan Tawa mentioned." A smirk played on Salama's lips. "Leave that man to me. But in return, I need you to lend me someone." "Who?" "Hearts." Mechikabura's gaze narrowed slightly. "You are actually using him? I thought you would keep him for the confrontation with Zeno." "Everything is for my complete resurrection." Salama's eyes squinted slightly, and a cold gleam shot out from them. Instantly, the temperature in the entire dimension dropped a few degrees. "So this is what happened. Thankfully, teacher, you arrived in time. Otherwise, both Dad and I would have been in danger." Inside the time nest where the Supreme Kai of Time resides, Trunks and others, along with Lin Chen, left the World 30 and returned here. They found that the current time nest was bustling with activity. Almost all the Z warriors from Universe 7 were gathered here, along with Caulifla and Kale from Universe 6. It turned out that after Trunks and Vegeta left, Whis had gathered warriors from various places. Upon learning of the situation, Lin Chen immediately rushed back from Universe 11 with Lazuli. Originally, they wanted to understand the situation first, but upon hearing that Trunks and Vegeta had encountered people from the demon realm, Lin Chen rushed over alone to check, just in case he needed to protect them. And it was fortunate that he did, saving Trunks and the others from a disaster. "Oh, Vegeta, are the people from the demon realm that strong? Even you couldn't defeat them?" Goku was dressed in Grand Priest's attire today as he had come directly from Zeno's palace. At Goku's words, Vegeta's face turned red and he tried to defend himself. "Humph. Their power is nothing special, they're just a bit tricky. I'll be prepared next time, I won't fall for their tricks again. That power is called dark magic, also a form of power of law. Supreme Kai of Time, Kranoa, explained. Compared to you people, most people from the demon realm aren't that strong, but be careful of their dark magic. It can't be dealt with just brute force. If you haven't comprehended power of laws, you'll have to rely on godly ki to resist." "I see," Trunks suddenly understood. "But Tawa has gotten much stronger than before. Perhaps something has happened in the demon realm," Kranoa speculated. "Could it be because of that Dragon Ball?" Mai suggested. "A dark-colored Dragon Ball? Piccolo, have you heard of it?" Goku asked. Piccolo immediately shook his head. "I've never heard of a Dragon Ball that can travel between worlds like that." "How about you, Mr. Lin Chen?" "I don't know either," Lin Chen shrugged. Whether in the present or the past, he had never heard of a Dragon Ball that could travel between worlds and enhance someone's power. Dragon Balls were just tools for summoning divine dragons. If it could enhance others' powers like that, would it still be a Dragon Ball? Never mind, let's just find one and see for ourselves, shall we? I've locked onto several anomalies in timelines. Lin Chen, could you please arrange to take people over there quickly and have a look? I understand. Even though there wasn't a system task this time, Lin Chen's intuition told him that this matter might not be as simple as it seemed. Including the origin of the Dark Dragon Balls, he was also eager to know. So, before going to support Vegeta and the others earlier, Lin Chen had already promised Kranoa that he would fully assist in handling this incident. Next, Lin Chen began to divide them into groups. According to Kranoa's intel, there were already 3 timelines with anomalies. Anomalies wouldn't appear out of nowhere, so these 3 timelines most likely were affected by the Dark Dragon Balls, similar to the previous timelines. This also meant that there might be enemies at the scene affected by the Dark Dragon Ball, like Frieza previously, and possibly people from the Demon Realm coming for the Dragon Ball. Taking all this into consideration, Lin Chen prepared to divide the people at the scene into 3 groups. However, just as he was about to divide them, a voice suddenly sounded from Goku's body. Goku! Mr. Goku! Everyone looked over, seeing Goku frantically taking out a crystal from his pocket. The voice they just heard came from it. Kakarot, what is this? It's from Mr. Whis, seems to be some kind of communicator. Goku picked up the crystal, and Whis' image appeared inside it. Mr. Whis, what's the matter? Mr. Goku, it's bad news. We've detected an evil force heading towards Earth. It would be best if you all returned here first. An evil force? Just then, there was a voice from Caulifla's side too. She chuckled and pulled out a crystal similar to Goku's. But what appeared on hers was Universe Success Angel, Vados. Miss Vados, what happened? Miss Caulifla, are you currently with Lin Chen? Yes, we are. Before Caulifla could finish, a fatty squeezed into Vados' screen, Universe Success God of Destruction, Kampa. He looked panicked and shouted into the crystal, hey, hey. Caulifla. Quickly get Lin Chen to come save us. Universe 6 is under attack. Kampa's voice was so loud that everyone could hear clearly. What? Universe 6. What's going on? Caulifla asked anxiously, Kampa-sama, what happened to Universe 6? Before Kampa could speak, Vados pushed him aside. Miss Caulifla, give the communication crystal to Mr. Lin Chen. Okay. Caulifla did as told and handed the crystal to Lin Chen. Mr. Lin Chen, a group of unidentified individuals attacked us. They are very strong, even Hit and Frost struggled against them. And Kampa? Lin Chen furrowed his brow. If Hit and Frost couldn't handle the enemies, wasn't Kampa there too? But to his surprise, Vados said, Kampa-sama intervened but almost got killed, he barely escaped. What? The people around Lin Chen all exclaimed in shock. Kampa was a god of destruction, although a bit frivolous, he wasn't someone ordinary people could easily deal with. Yet Vados said he almost got killed. Who were the attackers targeting Universe 6? In any case, Mr. Lin Chen, Universe 6 and Universe 7 are close now. Considering this, please come to support as soon as possible. After cutting off contact with Vados, Whis, who had been listening through Goku's communication crystal, spoke up. Mr. Goku, can I speak with Mr. Lin Chen? Ah. Sure. When Goku handed over his crystal, Whis said, Mr. Lin Chen, both our universes were attacked simultaneously, this is definitely not a coincidence. It seems that the attackers targeting Universe 7 might be related to the ones targeting Universe 6. Yes. Lin Chen's gaze sharpened as he said, Mr. Whis, I'll have someone rush back immediately. Until then, please take care of the things, Bira-sama. Understood. After Whis also cut off communication, Lin Chen took a deep breath and looked at Kranoa. Kranoa-sama, the situation seems a bit grim. How could this be a coincidence? Just when I needed your help, someone attacked your worlds. Klonoa frowned. Since her own home was raided, she couldn't force Lin Chen to abandon guarding his own homeland to help her. But without Lin Chen and others, and with only Trunks and Mai from the Time Patrol, they wouldn't have time to investigate those 3 timeline anomalies. However, Lin Chen's next words excited her. Here's the plan. We can't ignore the timeline anomalies, but we also have to support our world. Let's start assigning teams. We'll split into 5 groups. I'll provide support to Universe 7 alone, Broly will lead Caulifla and others to provide support to Universe 6. The rest will be assigned to investigate the 3 anomalies. If there are any special situations, I'll personally provide support. Splitting our forces. Excellent, Lin Chen. Klonoa exclaimed joyfully. Humph, I'll take my revenge, Vegeta vowed solemnly, crossing his arms. With that, Lin Chen assigned everyone their tasks, then immediately left the time nest. Lin Chen no longer had the system, but fortunately, he had become quite proficient in power of time and power of space compared to before. With his own strength, he could traverse worlds. Back in Universe 7 of his own world, Lin Chen indeed felt an evil force flying towards Earth. From the speed of this force, it seemed like they were traveling by spaceship. And on that spaceship, there were 3 main evil auras that could be called opponents, each exceptionally sinister and powerful. Among them, 2 of them were as strong as Goku and Vegeta. Who are these people? How can they have such power? With doubts in his mind, Lin Chen instantly teleported back to Earth. At this moment, Earth still appeared peaceful, with people living happily as usual, unaware of the impending evil. Lin Chen went straight to Bulma's house, where Beerus and Whis were enjoying food as usual. Seeing Lin Chen, Beerus relaxed and said, "You're here. That's good, now I can slack off." "Beerus-sama, but you're the god of destruction of this universe," Lin Chen couldn't help but remark. "So what? I heard that Universe 6 was also attacked, and Kamehame-ha seems to have been defeated." Upon hearing that, Beerus sat up with a serious expression on his face. "Kampa lost? Seems like it. I've already sent Broly for support." "What about you, Beerus-sama?" "Forget it, with Broly there, it should be fine." "That's true." "Oh right, Whis, do you know who these attackers are?" Whis shook his head. "Mr. Lin Chen, those people seem to be from a different universe than ours." "Oh." Just then, Lin Chen suddenly looked up, his eyes narrowing. The evil aura had arrived, their spaceship now hovering in Earth's orbit. 10 minutes later, in the glacier world on the extreme north of Earth, a black and white oval-shaped spaceship landed. Moments later, 3 figures emerged from the spaceship. "Is this Earth of this world? Why didn't we land directly in a big city instead of a place like this? Isn't this place more suitable for battle? Don't forget, our goal is to let the universe seed absorb energy. According to that lord, it requires intense combat." As the 3 figures talked, they descended from the spaceship. Among them, one had long orange hair with a headband. Another wore red armor with luminous green crystals. The last person was purple from head to toe, with only the head, shoulders, limbs, and wrists covered in white rock-like armor, with a purple tail behind. Shortly after they descended from the ship, a figure appeared on a nearby cliff, observing the 3 who had emerged from the spaceship. This figure was Lin Chen. After getting a clear view of the 3, Lin Chen's eyes narrowed. "It's them. Strange." The 3 figures in Lin Chen's sight included 2 familiar faces, Bojack with a headband and Cooler, Frieza's elder brother. The third, in red armor with green crystals, although Lin Chen hadn't seen him personally, Goku and others had mentioned before, Hachiak, the artificial life form of the Tuffles who once attacked Planet Vegeta. It's surprising that among them, Bojack's strength is the weakest. Lin Chen scanned them quickly and made a judgment. Among these 3, Cooler was the most unfathomable. Although he was currently in Frost Demon's fourth form, not yet in his final form, Lin Chen sensed a power comparable to Frieza's from him. Then there was Hachiyak. Lin Chen hadn't seen this opponent personally during his attack on Planet Vegeta as he hadn't returned yet, but based on Goku and others' judgment, his strength should be around Super Perfect Cell's level, not higher. However, the current Hachiyak, in terms of strength, was at least at the peak level of Universe 6. Bojack, on the other hand, whom Lin Chen hadn't encountered in his own world but had faced in another timeline, hadn't changed much in strength, still at the level of Super Saiyan 2. But all three of them should have been dead or not existed in this timeline at all. Thinking this, Lin Chen guessed that they might be from another timeline. The question was, who gathered these three together? And who sent them to attack Earth at this moment? At this point, Bojack and the others had flown into the air, seemingly ready to begin their assault on the city. As they took off, Lin Chen appeared above them in a flash. Boom! 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 3 attacks directly knocked them to the ground. Who? The 3 attacks weren't serious, and Bojack and the others quickly got up from the ground. But when they saw Lin Chen, they were stunned. Who? Who is this guy? Forget about Hachiyak, even Cooler and Bojack didn't recognize him. Lin Chen was sure now that these people were indeed from another timeline. He clenched his fist lightly and spoke, "The 3 of you, state your purpose for coming to Earth. I don't have time for your nonsense." Ridiculous. No one can be so arrogant in front of me, Bojack. Bojack let out a low roar, and energy erupted from his body. But before he could make a move, an energy wave descended from the sky. Boom! With a loud bang, Bojack was directly blasted into pieces. What? Cooler and Hachiyak scattered away, and when they saw Bojack's crushed body, their gazes sharpened. Immediately after, the crystals on Hachiyak's body lit up. This is... Seeing the light emanating from him, Hachiyak understood everything instantly. Cooler. He's a Saiyan. A Saiyan. One we haven't seen. You must be Lin Chen. Cooler also realized. Hee, you know me. From another timeline, and you know my name. Who sent you? Lin Chen crossed his arms. Wanna know? Then defeat us first. With that, Cooler transformed into his final form, and Hachiyak beside him also burst forth with a surging aura. In the past, these two could have been formidable enemies in this timeline. But times have changed. Lin Chen's gaze sharpened, and he let out a roar, a bright green aura soaring into the sky. His form also changed at this moment. Red fur, jet black hair, long and narrow eyes. He was in Super Saiyan 4 form. The power consumption of Super Saiyan God was too high. Lin Chen suspected this situation wasn't so simple, so he wants to preserve his divine power. This guy, he has such a terrifying aura. After Lin Chen completed his transformation, Cooler and Hachiyak looked at him in astonishment. This aura had completely surpassed their memories of Saiyans. Didn't expect the Saiyans of this timeline to be this powerful. So what? It's just this. Cooler suddenly roared, and a sacred golden light descended upon his body. His originally purple and white body instantly turned gold. Oh. Lin Chen blinked, Golden Cooler. Saiyan. Let's see how you deal with this invincible power. After completing his transformation, Golden Cooler dashed towards Lin Chen, then delivered a straightforward punch at him. Boom! Lin Chen also punched back. 2 powerful forces collided, creating a massive abyss in the glaciers beneath them. The terrifying shockwaves caused both of them to retreat dozens of meters. Interesting. Lin Chen smirked. This Golden Cooler was likely even more powerful than Golden Frieza, as it was a transformation based on the 5th form that Frieza hadn't achieved. As both of them landed on the ground, their bodies flashed once again, engaging in a frenzied battle. Hachiak on the side didn't dare to look, his body quickly glowing with a crystalline light, emanating a unique aura. That aura seemed to be a gathering of countless creatures' resentment, filled with hatred and terror. Yet, it caused Hachiak's power to skyrocket. Saiyan, I've killed all Saiyans in my timeline, and you won't be an exception. Hachiak shouted, joining the fray. Despite being outnumbered 2-1, Lin Chen didn't fall into a disadvantageous position, instead showing remarkable skill and bravery as the fight went on. After several rounds, Lin Chen managed to send both Hachiak and Cooler flying with just 2 punches. What? Intense pain surged through Golden Cooler and Hachiak, shocking them immensely. Only after actually clashing did they realize that the other's power was far greater than initially shown. Kamehameha. A blue flash ignited in Lin Chen's palm, and the next moment, a massive energy wave surged towards Golden Cooler and Hachiak. However, at that moment, a figure swiftly darted in front, blocking the energy wave. Previously, even the world changed color before this energy wave. Yet, the figure that blocked this astonishing power remained unscathed, effortlessly stopping it with one hand. When the energy wave dissipated, the person was completely unharmed. Wait. Rather than being unharmed, it felt more like that person absorbed Lin Chen's Kamehameha. Energy absorption. Lin Chen narrowed his eyes, shifting his gaze to the person, a figure with long black hair resembling Android 17 but with significant differences. Super Android 17. Lin Chen furrowed his brow, surprised to encounter even Super Android 17 among the enemies. Indeed, these people were likely gathered from different timelines by someone unknown. Super Android 17, as seen in Dragon Ball GT, was created by Dr. Gero and Dr. Mu in Hell, merging Hell's Android 17 with the original Android 17 to create a super warrior. Due to being an android, even Lin Chen hadn't sensed his presence before. Android 17, this guy is tough. Let's team up. Saved by Super Android 17, Cooler immediately shouted. Super Android 17, however, appeared confident, examining his own hands. He's got some skills. Just one energy wave increased my power by nearly half. This energy is amazing. Super Android 17's eyes narrowed slightly, a confident smile playing on his lips. In the next moment, his wrists and arms acted like mechanical arms, transforming into machine gun barrels. Then, like a real machine gun, it unleashed key bullets formed from energy at Lin Chen. A barrage that covered the sky. In an instant, Lin Chen was entirely drowned. He's dead. Huh, that guy's finished. Seeing Lin Chen engulfed by the barrage, Cooler rejoiced while Hachiak remained more cautious. Let's stay vigilant, he might still be fine. After hearing this, Super Android 17 ceased his attack, pushing back a strand of long hair from his forehead. Don't worry, nobody can survive my attack. Just as Super Android 17 finished speaking, a violent ki wave swept out. Under this attack, the thick smoke surrounding Lin Chen dissipated instantly. In the end, Lin Chen's figure re-emerged in everyone's sight. Did I hear someone say I was dead just now? Lin Chen looked at the three, his face wearing a smile yet not a smile. At his words, Super Android 17's smile vanished instantly, replaced by embarrassment. How is that possible? Such a simple attack can't even break my energy shield. Dream on if you think you can kill me. Energy shield. Alright, then I'll shatter it. Saying that, Super Android 17 instantly rushed in front of Lin Chen, launching a direct punch. The two engaged in a fierce battle, with no clear winner emerging for a while. Seeing this, Hachiak also joined the fray, both of them launching a joint assault on Lin Chen. Golden Cooler, on the other hand, stood aside, refraining from attacking recklessly. Fool, this guy's strength is unfathomable. What's the use of blindly attacking like this? Cooler muttered to himself. In terms of combat experience, both Hachiak and Super Android 17 were far from Cooler's match. After all, in his timeline, Cooler was a conqueror who ruled over half the universe. Meanwhile, Hachiak and Super Android 17 had only faced a few Saiyans at best, lacking significant combat experience. Cooler's sinister gaze remained fixed on Lin Chen, searching for an opportunity. Suddenly, he raised his hand, and a red energy beam shot out from his finger at Lin Chen. Swish! The energy beam flashed by, but it directly passed through Lin Chen's body. What? Seeing his sneak attack's target vanish, Cooler's pupils constricted instantly. Cooler, compared to Frieza, you're still lacking. A faint voice echoed from behind Cooler, sending a chill down his spine. Cooler hadn't even realized when Lin Chen had dodged the attack and appeared behind him. The next moment, Lin Chen, surrounded by the crimson aura of Super Kaioken, wielded a black sickle, directly slicing Cooler in half at the neck. It wasn't until his head and torso rolled on the ground that Cooler realized what had just happened. Damn you monkey! Lin Chen lightly swung the sickle of sorrow a few times, muttering to himself, haven't used this move in a while, I almost forgot it. The black sickle of sorrow's blade pointed at the remaining Hachiak and Super Android 17. Lin Chen smiled faintly, his gaze cold. Who's next? Both Super Android 17 and Hachiak's expressions changed simultaneously, involuntarily taking a step back. I've decided. Lin Chen's figure disappeared in an instant, turning into a red flash, heading straight for Hachiak. Seeing that Lin Chen's target was him, Hachiak let out a terrified roar, hastily retreating with hands crossed over in front of his chest. The crystals on his body lit up with a green glow. Super Revenger Cannon. Decent power, but useless if it can't hit. Lin Chen smirked, another burst of crimson aura erupting from his body. Super Kaioken. In an instant, Lin Chen's speed doubled again, carving an arc in mid-air, evading Hachiak's earth-shattering strike. Lin Chen swept out the sickle of sorrow in his hand. A spatial crack was instantly split open, and due to the instability of the space, the black spatial crack began to crazily devour everything around it like a black hole. Hachiak's split body only lasted for a short while before being swallowed by the crack and disappearing. A few seconds later, the crack also disappeared. Seeing that Golden Cooler and Hachiak were killed so easily, the remaining Super 17 was no longer as confident, instead he wore a face of anger and embarrassment. Damn it! Super 17's fists were like machine guns, launching continuous fierce attacks at Lin Chen. However, these attacks, in Lin Chen's eyes, were nothing. In the original work, Super 17's strength was at par with Super Saiyan 4. As long as one is careful to avoid having his energy absorbed, there isn't much to worry about. Damn it! Why are you so strong? Why? Super 17 looked at Lin Chen with a sinister expression, his previous confidence completely shattered. Bang! 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 The sound of intense collision echoed as Super 17 struggled desperately, trying to create a miracle. But in the end, no miracle came. Although I'd love to test your limits, I'm sorry, I have to go check Universe 6. Saying that, Lin Chen dodged his attack and immediately appeared beside Super 17, swinging his arm. The black sickle of sorrow in his hand instantly split Super 17's body. Rumble. A moment later, Super 17's split body exploded. The crisis that could have engulfed Universe 7 was easily resolved by Lin Chen. No, there's still one more person. Lin Chen turned his head and looked towards the ground. On the snowy ground, a trail of blood stretching for hundreds of meters was clearly visible. At the end of this blood trail was Cooler, with less than half of his body remaining, crawling towards the spaceship they came in. The vitality of a frost demon is indeed impressive, making people sigh. Unfortunately, Cooler's hope of escaping was dashed as the spaceship took off before he could even get close. The spaceship seemed to use some kind of power, as it immediately disappeared in front of Lin Chen. Escaped? Lin Chen frowned but chose not to pursue. Because that spaceship seemed to operate not through conventional flight, but rather by traversing through time and space, much like Trunks' time machine. Although Lin Chen could chase after it, it is too troublesome. Moreover, he still has to deal with Cooler. Damn it! I'm not dead yet. Why didn't you wait for me? Seeing the spaceship leaving them behind and escaping, Cooler shouted in despair. Suddenly, Cooler's shouting stopped. Because Lin Chen's feet landed in front of him as he waved his hands. Cooler slowly raised his head, and when his gaze fell on Lin Chen's face, an expression of despair immediately washed over him. Damn it! Cooler, will never surrender. Cooler roared, and with his remaining right hand, he tried to slam the ground, seemingly attempting to blow up the earth. However, before he could act, a black light flashed, and Lin Chen's sickle of sorrow severed Cooler's last arm. Ah! Cooler screamed in agony, his former arrogance completely gone. He lifted his head and pleaded with Lin Chen, please, please spare me. I'm just doing someone else's bidding. I'm not even from this timeline. Please, spare me. Lin Chen squinted his eyes and asked, you're not from this timeline. Then where did you all come from? Who is behind you? It's a guy named Hearts. Hearts. Yes. Cooler looked humble. We were all summoned by Hearts from another timeline. Besides us, there are others he summoned, but they might be in different universes now. What's his goal? Lin Chen asked. I don't know, he just instructed us to wreak havoc in this universe, saying it's for some universe seed to absorb energy, but he didn't explain what this universe seed is. After questioning Cooler for a while and confirming that he indeed had no more useful information to provide, Lin Chen said, since you don't know anything, you're of no use. And no, please. My lord. I can serve you. Although I'm not your match, I am also the ruler of a universe in my timeline. I am willing to be your servant. Cooler said with a begging expression. However, Lin Chen smiled and said, Cooler, do you know that Frieza from this timeline is already my servant? Ha. Frieza. Yes, one frost demon is enough. So. And no, please. Ignoring Cooler's pleas, Lin Chen stepped on his head. The ground instantly cracked as Cooler's head was crushed by Lin Chen. This time, even the frost demon, with its formidable vitality, was completely dead. Swoosh! The sound of teleportation came from the side as Whis and Beerus appeared. Beerus glanced around and said, it's been resolved. Whis, you made it sound so frightening before, I thought it was someone powerful. Seems they were nothing much after all. Beerus-sama, the real threat isn't these people, it's something else, but that thing seems to have disappeared. As they spoke, they arrived next to Lin Chen and inquired about what had happened earlier. Afterwards, when Lin Chen mentioned that these people were summoned by someone named Hearts, Whis involuntarily exclaimed. Beerus turned to him and asked, Whis, do you know this Hearts? Yes, I didn't expect to hear that name. I'm sorry, Mr. Lin Chen, the situation is serious. We need to go and report to Zeno-sama. Wait. Lin Chen stopped him. Mr. Whis, before that, can you tell me about this Hearts? This matter shouldn't really be spoken of, but since Hearts has already appeared, I'll tell you. Whis sighed and began recounting a past event to Lin Chen and Beerus. This incident occurred in the distant past, before Beerus became the god of destruction. At that time, there were originally 16 universes in this timeline. However, due to various reasons, Universe 13 to 16 were destroyed by Zeno. And Hearts belonged to Universe 13. Lin Chen, as you know, each universe has a god of destruction and a Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai is responsible for creating planets, while the god of destruction destroys them. They work together to promote the continuous development of the universe through creation and destruction. Although it may seem cruel, it is essential to maintain the vitality of a universe. However, at that time, mortals from universes 13 to 16 questioned the work of the god of destruction and Supreme Kai and attacked the deities. In the end, the god of destruction and Supreme Kai of these 4 universes were killed by mortals, and the control over these 4 universes was completely lost. And the one who orchestrated the attack was called Hearts. Many millennia ago, there were a total of 16 universes in this timeline. But among the 16 universes, 4 were mercilessly erased by Zeno as a punishment due to the actions of one man. That man is the mastermind behind the attacks on 2 universes this time, Hearts. According to Whis, Hearts once gathered the elite humans from 4 universes, attempting to rebel against the gods. They even succeeded in killing the Supreme Kai and God of Destruction of the 4 universes at that time, plunging them into a chaotic era without gods. However, their actions angered Zeno, who personally erased the 4 universes completely. Even the God of Destruction were powerless before Zeno's might. However, Whis was surprised that Hearts, who should have been erased along with the 4 universes by Zeno, actually survived. And this time, he has reappeared in Universe 6 and 7. But how did this guy manage to gather people from other timelines? Beerus wondered. Perhaps there's another force aiding him. Whis speculated. The Dark Demon Realm. A name immediately popped into Lin Chen's mind. After all, Heart's appearance this time was too coincidental, almost occurring just as they were planning to investigate anomalies in timelines. The timing was too coincidental, raising suspicions about whether there was a connection between the two. However, all of this was just speculation of Lin Chen and the others. The true situation would only be known once Lin Chen found Hearts. Mr. Whis, Beerus-sama, please look after Universe 7. If there's anything, Mr. Whis, please contact me immediately. Lin Chen, what about you? Beerus asked, puzzled. I'm going to provide support to Universe 6. Using instant transmission, Lin Chen left Universe 7 and headed towards Universe 6, which was also under attack. Judging from Cooler and others' performance earlier, Hearts and his group attacking the 2 universes seemed to have only so strength, and compared to the Dark Demon Realm, it would be relatively easier. Lin Chen hoped that Broly and the others who had gone ahead to support would be able to resolve the crisis smoothly. At the same time, he wished for Goku and the others staying in Time Patrol to have a smooth journey. However, compared to the enemies they were facing, Goku and the others seemed to be in greater danger. The unknown abilities of the people from the Dark Demon Realm, and the strange Dark Dragon Balls. Hopefully, everything will turn out peaceful. Back in Time Patrol, everyone was divided into 3 teams as needed. Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo formed one team, Vegeta, Future Trunks, and Frieza formed another, while Lin Luo, Taro, and Lazuli made up the 3rd team. Due to the dangerous situation this time, Goten and Little Trunks were excluded from Time Patrol due to their strength and could only stay with Kranoa to observe various timelines, helping Goku and the others find the anomalies in timelines. In a certain mini-world, Vegeta, Trunks, and Frieza passed through the space-time door and arrived in this world. Glancing at the detection device on his hand, which was provided by Time Patrol, Trunks said, "Dad, this timeline is currently in age 767. According to the information provided by Kranoa-sama, the anomaly's location is 28 kilometers northwest from West City on Earth." Sounds familiar. Vegeta furrowed his brow. He vaguely felt that the location Trunks mentioned seemed familiar. Where could it be? Just then, Frieza's voice rang out in alarm from beside them. "Hey! You two, be careful." Vegeta snapped back to himself, only to find that somewhere ahead, there was a dazzling flash like the sun exploding. A massive explosion erupted in front of them. That place is... Gritting his teeth, Vegeta instantly transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and flew rapidly towards the site of the explosion. Having almost been defeated by individuals from the demon realm before, Vegeta felt a sense of dissatisfaction and intended to redeem his pride in this mission. However, Trunks thought Vegeta was being too reckless. "Dad! Slow down." As the two flew away, one in front and one in back, Frieza remained calm and flew at his own steady pace. Before long, in a vast desolate area, Vegeta and Trunks saw a group of figures lying on the ground. Among these figures were surprisingly Vegeta and Trunks themselves. "That's... Dad, look over there." Trunks pointed, and Vegeta immediately saw a green figure not far away. Cell. Vegeta instantly understood where the familiarity came from. 28 kilometers northwest of West City, wasn't that where Cell held the Cell Games back then? "Dad, look at Cell's body." It wasn't until then that Vegeta noticed something was off about this timeline Cell. Clearly visible on Cell's abdomen was a Dragon Ball embedded. That's him. The anomaly is this Cell. According to normal history, this timeline Cell should have been dealt with by Brother Gohan when he was a child. As Trunks spoke, he glanced around and spotted an unconscious Gohan nearby. Obviously, the history of this timeline had changed drastically due to Cell's increased strength. So we just need to deal with Cell, right? Vegeta clenched his fists, eager to try. Vegeta still remembered his humiliation from Cell during the Cell Games. And now, he could finally avenge the shame he suffered at Cell's hands back then. Oh. So that's Cell. It says here that he has my cells in his body. At this moment, Frieza also arrived. Seeing Cell, disgust flashed across Frieza's face. Although Frieza from Lin Chen's timeline had not seen Cell, he had seen Cell's data on the device provided by Kranoa and knew that he was a bio-warrior created by Earthling Dr. Gero using DNA cells from various warriors. The thought of his noble Frost Demon DNA being fused with this kind of trash made Frieza feel nauseous. "Vegeta, do you want to take action? Or should I?" "Frieza, just watch from the sidelines. I can handle this trash by myself." "Alright, do your best. Make sure to kill this trash." Frieza crossed his arms and prepared to watch Vegeta's performance. But Trunks was somewhat worried. After all, Vegeta had suffered a loss against the Dark Frieza last time. "Dad, should we attack together?" "No need, Trunks. You just watch from there. This is my revenge and mine only." Vegeta roared and charged toward Cell. Previously, in Main World 30, under the influence of the Dark Dragon Ball, Frieza had also gained power close to that of a Super Saiyan god. However, despite being affected by the Dark Dragon Ball, the Cell in this timeline doesn't seem to have improved in strength as much. To Vegeta's perception, Cell seemed to be on par with the Golden Cell from back then. For Vegeta and others, this was nothing extraordinary. But for Gohan and the others in this timeline, this strength of Cell was simply godlike. No wonder they suffered such a tragic defeat. However, for Vegeta, who was determined for revenge, Golden Cell from back then was no longer worth mentioning now. Cell. With a roar, Vegeta flew straight towards Cell. After the Dark Dragon Ball possessed his body, Cell seemed to have lost self-awareness. Upon seeing the second Vegeta appearing out of nowhere, instead of showing the normal astonishment one would expect, Cell's face turned fierce, and without a word, he immediately hurled an energy blast at Vegeta. "Get lost!" Vegeta waved his hand, deflecting the energy blast far away. Boom! Amidst the fierce explosion, Vegeta instantly arrived before Cell, clenching his fists into hammers and smashing them onto Cell's head. Bang! Cell crashed into the ground. But immediately Vegeta also landed on the ground, lifted a foot and kicked Cell back into the air. Bang, bang, bang. Vegeta closely pursued Cell into the sky, delivering punches one after another like a relay, sending Cell soaring into the sky, thousands of meters above. Finally, with a sudden burst of speed, Vegeta flew above Cell's head. With a swift kick, he sent Cell plummeting back to the ground. Final flash. Vegeta condensed a massive aura in his hands, delivering a devastating blow towards Cell. Rumble. A massive energy explosion, like a terrifying mushroom cloud signaling doomsday, swept out, engulfing an area of hundreds of miles. In the explosion, the Z fighters of this world were blown away by the storm, but luckily, Trunks was there in the sky to save them one by one. Oh. Frieza smiled faintly. Vegeta, this guy, has become even more powerful. Looks like I won't have to intervene. Boom, boom, boom. Several minutes later, as the scorching energy gradually dissipated, a massive crater appeared on the ground. At the center of the crater lay the Dark Dragon Ball. Cell, however, had vanished without a trace. That's great, Dad. You defeated Cell. Trunks exclaimed happily. Humph. Just took down some trash, no need to be so happy about it. Vegeta snorted coldly, about to retrieve the Dark Dragon Ball. But at this moment, he sensed something off. A rusty smell and an evil aura suddenly appeared in the air out of nowhere. Vegeta abruptly turned around and saw the Dark Dragon Ball floating in midair. A mass of flesh and blood, seemingly materialized out of nowhere, was rapidly enveloping the Dark Dragon Ball. This is, Vegeta's gaze froze. Dad! It's Cell. He seems to be alive. Trunks shouted. Even Frieza's eyes widened, sensing the incredible power emanating from the other side. This power was rapidly increasing and soon would rival Frieza's own power. Is this Cell's power? Under the astonished gazes of everyone, a massive black shadow rose from the crimson hue. It was none other than Cell, who they thought had been destroyed just moments ago. This. Out of nowhere, Cell's power seemed to skyrocket once again under the influence of the Dark Dragon Ball. Or perhaps, Cell had now truly gained the power of the Dark Dragon Ball. The current Cell's body had expanded at least tenfold compared to before, nearly the size of a great ape transformed Saiyan. And his power had increased tenfold as well. Cell, this monster has such an ability? Frieza clenched his fists. No, it shouldn't be possible. This is probably the effect of the Dark Dragon Ball. Trunks spoke up. Suddenly, Cell swung his arm towards Vegeta in front of him. Despite his massive body, his speed was astonishing. Vegeta managed to dodge in time, but Cell still managed to graze his feet, causing Vegeta to cry out in pain. Seeing Vegeta's right foot twisted into an unnatural shape, already broken, Trunks exclaimed, Dad. Frieza, please intervene. I'll go help Dad first. After all that, you still need me to step in, you useless bunch. Frieza gritted his teeth, instantly transforming into his golden form and flying towards Cell. Meanwhile, Trunks dashed to Vegeta's side. After a quick inspection, he realized Vegeta's foot was temporarily unusable. Darn it, if only we had a Senzu bean. Due to them being in a hurry, none of the people of Time Patrol had Senzu beans. Lin Chen was utterly helpless in this regard too, his Senzu beans were lost in the disappeared system space. Thus, Trunks didn't know how to treat his father at the moment. Should they just retreat for now? Boom! A sudden explosion rang out nearby. Trunks turned to see Frieza being smashed into the ground by Cell. Darn it! Frieza yelled. Just as he tried to get up, a giant foot stomped on his head, forcing him into the ground again. Frieza trembled with anger, a white light flashed over him, and he transformed into his platinum form. However, even in this form, Cell's foot was like an enormous mountain, firmly suppressing him, almost rendering him immobile. What in the world is this Dragon Ball? It's so powerful. Trunks was shocked. Frieza's current power far exceeded his expectations, yet even so, he couldn't subdue Cell. No, they can't defeat Cell by relying solely on Frieza, they have to resort to something else. With this in mind, Trunks reached into his pocket and pulled out a pair of Potera earrings. This was the final trump card prepared by the Konoha-sama before they left, in case they encountered trouble. "Dad, let's fuse." At that moment, Frieza was still struggling to escape from Cell's suppression. Transformed into his platinum form, he braced himself against Cell's foot using both hands, struggling to lift him up. Each time he managed to do so, the massive dark Cell would exert more force, pressing Frieza back down with a resounding thud. It was like the Buddha's five-finger mountain, rendering it impossible for Frieza to free himself. However, just then, a figure swiftly flew in from a distance and punched Cell in the face. Crack! A sound of bones breaking echoed as Cell's massive head exploded, and his huge body toppled backward. "Frieza, no need to thank me." A strange voice, as if two people were speaking simultaneously, resounded. Frieza lifted his head, staring in astonishment at the unfamiliar person before him. This person appeared to be a Saiyan, somewhat resembling Vegeta but with a few strands of purple hair mixed in. Who the hell are you?" "Me. I'm Vegeta. The strongest warrior formed from the fusion of Vegeta and Trunks." Vegeta and Trunks fusion. Struggling to get up from the ground, Frieza looked at the fused Saiyan warrior in front of him with a grimace. "This is too much. These Saiyans are too much. It wasn't enough that they had flashy transformations, but now they can rely on various fusions to increase their strength. This is F*King too unfair. Frieza, just stand aside and watch how I deal with Cell," Vegeta said confidently. This made Frieza feel even more irritated than when Goku used Ultra Instinct. However, at that moment, the massive body of Cell, who had been knocked down, started to rise again. His head, which had been blown up by Vegeta's punch, began to regenerate at a visible speed. Vegeta glanced coldly at the revived Dark Cell and suddenly a whirlwind rose under his feet, flying high into the sky. His target once again was Cell's head. Just before reaching Cell's skull, Vegeta unleashed another powerful punch. This time, Dark Cell, with a speed completely inconsistent with his body, managed to block the punch with his hand, trembling slightly as he blocked the attack. But Vegeta smirked, clenched his fists, and transformed directly into Super Saiyan Blue. With another powerful punch, this time Vegeta pierced through Cell's palm, hitting him squarely in the head. Boom! While Cell's head didn't explode like before, the punch still sent his massive body flying like a cannonball. Boom! Cell's massive arms dug into the ground as he slid for kilometers, leaving two deep furrows. Cell shook his head, opened his enormous mouth, and let out a deafening roar as huge energy blasts shot out from his mouth. A cold gleam flashed across Vegeta's face as he unleashed a sword-shaped energy blade from his palm, slicing through all the incoming energy blasts. "Take this." Vegeta swung the energy blade up and down, sending crescent-shaped energy waves slashing towards Cell. Crackle crackle. These energy waves, centered around Vegeta, descended like raindrops from the sky, slashing down towards Cell. The sharp sounds filled the sky, resembling a rain of swords and knives that illuminated the entire sky. Plop, plop, hundreds and thousands of crescent-shaped energy waves sliced through the air, leaving an ethereal trail. They relentlessly slashed at Cell, leaving trails of blood in their wake as they struck Cell's body. Amidst the painful screams, splatters of blood kept dripping from Cell's body. His massive size had become a weakness, turning Cell into a giant target. Aw! Dark Cell screamed in agony, as if his entire body had been sliced into countless pieces by razor-sharp blades. But just then, the screams abruptly stopped, and Cell's figure vanished directly in front of Vegeta. Huh! Vegeta was stunned for a moment. Before he could react, he heard Frieza shouting from the side. "Idiot! He's above you!" Vegeta looked up, only to realize that Cell had used instant transmission to appear directly above him. The massive but descended, aiming to crush Vegeta. Boom! The earth shook violently, as if experiencing a magnitude 9 earthquake. Frieza crossed his arms, looking at Vegeta beside him. Vegeta, covered in dust, stood there in a sorry state. Frieza, let's team up. Huh, I thought you were enough on your own. Frieza flew to his side. My fusion won't last much longer. We can't afford to drag this out. Let's finish this quickly. Since you're asking so nicely, I'll graciously agree. The next moment, Vegeta and Frieza both struck a pose for their ultimate moves. Burning Impact. Planet-destroying ball. 2 sun-like beams suddenly erupted out. The 2 energy blasts converged in mid-air, forming a massive energy ball radiating both purple and golden light. This energy ball was terrifying to the extreme. Even though Dark Cell had lost his consciousness, he could still feel the terror within and tried to dodge the attack. His body flashed, attempting to dodge through instant transmission. However, to his surprise, Vegeta waved his finger, manipulating the flying energy ball to follow Cell. No. In his final moments, Cell seemed to regain consciousness from the control of the Dark Dragon Ball and let out a final scream. But before he could finish saying no, his body gradually vanished in the storm of light, turning into dust that drifted away in the rush of light. Is it over? Frieza asked gruffly. Yes, I can't sense Cell's aura anymore, Vegeta said, waving his hand towards the smoke in front of him. A gust of wind blew away the thick smoke, revealing the Dark Dragon Ball that had been embedded in Cell's body lying quietly on the ground. Wow, so this is the Dark Dragon Ball. It can turn Cell into a monster. What makes it different from other Dragon Balls? Frieza walked over, picked up the Dark Dragon Ball, and was about to examine it when suddenly, an iron hammer emerged from the void and struck Frieza hard. Although the blow seemed ordinary, when the hammer hit Frieza, it unleashed a terrifying thunder. It was as if Frieza was struck by lightning, spewing out a mouthful of blood. Who's there? Vegeta shouted in panic. The next moment, a charming figure with long hair materialized in mid-air. It was a beautiful witch. Beside her was a muscular man resembling an elf, wielding a giant hammer. It was this man who had injured Frieza. See that, Putin? My demon god power. Yes, indeed strong. But now's not the time for jokes, Gravy. The Dark Dragon Ball has appeared, go retrieve it. Hearing their conversation, Vegeta understood. Are you people from the Dark Demon Realm? He, you got it. Gravy, the muscular man, swung his hammer. I'm Gravy from the Dark Demon Realm, and she's Putin. Which one of you is Lin Chen? Lin Chen. What do you want with His Majesty? It seems they're not Lin Chen, Gravy, Putin said. Damn. I was looking forward to fighting Lin Chen. Gravy expressed regret. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a figure flew over and kicked Gravy to the ground. Frieza's face turned angry as he clenched his fists. You dare to ambush me? I don't care where you're from. Get ready to face the terror of death. Platinum Frieza and the person from Demon Realm named Gravy collided, creating a deafening sound. The battle between the two of them was intense from the very beginning. Although Gravy was also from the Demon Realm like Putin next to him, he did not look at all like Putin, who looked like a weak wizard. Gravy, wielding a hammer, was instead a muscular warrior. His movements were entirely aggressive, engaging Frieza in a head-on clash. Initially driven by anger, Frieza also chose to confront Gravy head-on, fist to fist, foot to foot. But after a few rounds, he realized something was amiss. Gravy's strength was astonishing, on par with Tokpo from the Tournament of Power. Just a few clashes with him left Frieza dizzy and in pain. Especially Gravy's hammer seemed peculiar. Frieza was nearly knocked unconscious by it earlier. Damn it. Although Frieza had managed to regain his composure, the surprise attack had clearly affected him. Not only his speed but even his strength was not at its peak. Boom! The space suddenly trembled. Gravy's hammer smashed towards Frieza's chest. While Frieza managed to block it mid-air, the tip of the hammer suddenly glowed, unleashing a black thunderbolt resembling a lightning snake. This snake-like black thunderbolt surged towards Frieza's hands and took a bite. "Aw!" Frieza screamed as he involuntarily let go, helplessly watching Gravy's hammer strike his chest. Rumble. In the next moment, Frieza plummeted like a meteor, creating a deep hole in the ground. Frieza. Vegeta was surprised. Although Platinum Frieza's strength was inferior to his, he was not to be underestimated. In the tournament of power, Frieza could at least rank in the top 10. But now, facing the person from Demon Realm, Frieza was beaten so badly. What time patrol, they are nothing in front of my demon god's power. Gravy boasted, resting the hammer on his shoulder. Vegeta snorted. Come, let me see your skills. Gravy grinned, and the demon god's power instantly erupted out from his body. Previously, in the Dark Demon Realm, there was only one god, the demon god Mechikabura. But this time, upon learning that even the Time Patrol was eyeing the Dark Dragon Balls, Mechikabura bestowed his divine power upon several subordinates just in case. After obtaining Mechikabura's demon god power, these subordinates became demon god, the new gods of the demon realm. The power Gravy unleashed now stemmed from this demon god's power. Whoosh! The enormous hammer spun in midair as demon god's power erupted from Gravy. He dashed forward, leaping right in front of Vegeta and slammed the hammer down heavily. Facing this attack, Vegeta raised a hand, effortlessly catching the massive hammer. Oh! Impressive strength, but that's about it, Vegeta smiled. Gravy snorted as he activated his demon god's power. Instantly, black lightning crackled once again on his hammer. Vegeta. There is something weird about that lightning. Frieza's voice suddenly echoed from the side, just as the black lightning was about to strike Vegeta's hand. He crawled out of the pit in a sorry state, his entire body charred black. But Frieza's warning came a step too late. The black lightning struck Vegeta's hand, and from just a light touch, Vegeta could sense the astonishing power contained within it. This is... Although he hadn't comprehended that kind of power yet, Vegeta instantly realized that Gravy's black lightning was, in fact, a power of law. Similar to a god of destruction's power of destruction, it was a special kind of power. No wonder Frieza had been in such a sorry state earlier. Ah! Vegeta screamed suddenly. Seeing this, Gravy laughed heartily. Fool! My demon god's power is the law of thunder, capable of destroying everything. You ignorant fool, let lightning strike you dead. Just as Gravy's words ended, Vegeta's screams abruptly stopped. In its place was a wicked smile on his face. What law of thunder? Compared to a god of destruction's power of destruction, it's nothing. What? Although Vegeta's body continued to emit black lightning, his body began to move. Once a certain level of strength is reached, it is indeed possible to resist the power of laws. Vegeta may not have comprehended the power of laws, but as the fusion of Vegeta and Trunks, his strength was extraordinary. While relying on his energy to counteract the power of law, Vegeta pressed his left hand against Gravy's chest. Big Bang Attack. A massive light blue energy blast struck Gravy directly. With a loud bang, Gravy was sent flying out of the explosion, eventually crashing to the ground. However, this didn't end the battle. Damn humans! A roar filled with rage echoed as Gravy, with his eyes blazing red, again swung his enormous hammer at Vegeta with astonishing speed. Rumble! At some point, dark clouds had appeared in the sky, lightning flashed and thunder roared among the clouds. Then, a lightning bolt struck Gravy's body. But, instead of being injured, Gravy's body expanded. He raised the hammer, smashing it toward Vegeta. Lightning sentence. Endless lightning condensed at the center of the hammer, a pressure akin to a thunder god. With a swing of the hammer, it shot out, collapsing space as it went. What's this? Vegeta finally showed a serious expression. The immense power contained in the huge lightning before him was extraordinary. This attack couldn't be easily dealt with. With that realization, Vegeta spread his arms wide. Omega Flash. Boom! Two energies, evenly matched, collided directly. At the point of collision, a long and narrow band of wind began to emit a sparkling light. The ground started to collapse, layers of soil blowing away. In the end, the energy turned into a storm, wreaking havoc on the entire planet. Under this energy storm, Vegeta's face turned pale, and he involuntarily took a few steps back. Then, at that moment, Vegeta's body suddenly blurred and reverted back to two individuals, Trunks and Vegeta. Oh no! Trunks' expression changed drastically when he saw that he and Vegeta had unfused. The Pot-era earrings Kranoa gave them were authentic Pot-era earrings, not the indestructible ones in Lin Chen's possession. Although they were authentic, they paled in comparison to Lin Chen's system-produced earrings. The biggest issue was that using these Pot-era earrings not only had a fusion time limit of 1 hour but also, if energy consumption during battle was too high, the fusion time limit of the earrings would continuously reduce. Trunks and Vegeta were facing this situation now. Although Vegeta had indeed been far superior in power to the demon god Gravy, once the two unfused, the situation reversed. Especially after unfusing, Vegeta's foot injury from Dark Cell reappeared. With a heavily injured Frieza beside them, Trunks and the others were facing an unimaginable crisis. Gravy walked over with a wicked smile, raising his hammer high towards Trunks and the others. "Hey, where's that arrogant guy from earlier? Tell him to come out. I'm going to crush all of you into pieces." But just then, Gravy suddenly froze. Because he realized that Trunks and Vegeta in front of him had suddenly disappeared without a trace. Where are they? Gravy turned to look at Frieza, only to find that he had also vanished. What's going on? He. On the side, Putin, who hadn't lifted a finger to help from start to finish, giggled. Gravy, haven't you figured it out yet? What a fool. What? Putin, what do you mean? Putin shrugged, picking up the dark Dragon Ball from the ground. Never mind, we've already got the Dragon Ball. If you want revenge, wait for next time. Inside a certain space-time tunnel, Trunks carried Vegeta on his back and held on to Frieza, following behind Kranoa. Kranoa-sama, thank you for saving us. It was really dangerous just now. Fortunately, you were facing Gravy, who's not too bright. A little time freeze magic tricked him. In front of Trunks and the others, Kranoa wore a relieved expression. Just now, when the situation was dire, she suddenly appeared and saved Trunks and others. I'm sorry we couldn't retrieve the Dragon Ball. Never mind, the anomaly has been resolved anyway. Besides, right now, we shouldn't be concerned about any Dragon Balls. In fact, apart from your group, the other two groups have also encountered trouble. Mr. Goku? Kakarot? Trunks and Vegeta were both puzzled. Frieza, on the other hand, had a gloomy expression. Kranoa explained, our situation is very dire now. Besides you guys, Goku and his group have also encountered people from the demon realm. Both time patrols are in deep trouble. I've already sent a distress signal to Lin Chen, but I don't know how long it'll take for him to arrive. Until then. Trunks, Vegeta, Frieza. Only you three can save Goku and the others. Time Patrol seems to be facing a major crisis, but Vegeta and the others were unaware that in their own timeline, a crisis engulfing 12 universes was quietly brewing and about to erupt. Although Lin Chen successfully dealt with the attackers in Universe 7, when he rushed to Universe 6, he found the situation worse than he had imagined. At this moment, in Universe SX's Sacred World of the Kai, Supreme Kai Fua looked at the crystal ball in front of him, nervously wringing his hands. Sweat dripped continuously down his chubby green face. I never expected him to return. Universe 6 is probably doomed this time. Kamehame-ha, why haven't you come back yet? If you don't return, it will be too late. At this point, he was almost desperate because the one attacking Universe 6 this time was an ancient demon who had once caused havoc in Universe 6. And this time, the demon's strength was much greater than before, and he also brought along evil companions. Under their attack, Universe 6 was approaching a crisis. The top experts of this universe, Hit and Frost, were already retreating under the enemy's assault. Even the experts from Universe 7 who came to assist not long ago had been completely defeated, moreover they had even become helpers of the enemy. In such dire straits, Fuwa was filled with despair, pinning his hopes on Kampa. Previously, when Kampa couldn't match the opponent, he and Angel Vados went to Zeno's palace to ask for help. But since then, the two had not returned, leaving Fuwa anxious and sweating profusely. Just as Fuwa was pacing around in circles, a faint sound of breaking space suddenly came. Swish! Immediately after, a figure appeared in front of Fuwa. Why, you're Lin Chen from Universe 7? Fuwa's eyes widened. He certainly recognized Lin Chen, known as the #1 expert in the multiverse. Lin Chen looked at Fuwa, who appeared tense, feeling a bit puzzled. Hadn't he sent Broly and the others to support them? Why did he look like this? Supreme Kai-sama, where is Kamehame-ha? Lin Chen asked. Kamehame-ha and Vados-sama went to Zeno's palace to ask for help, but they haven't returned yet. For help? Didn't I already send Broly and the others over? Could it be that the enemy is too strong, and they couldn't handle it? You mean Broly, Caulifla and others? Ah. It's better that you didn't send them, but after they arrived, they actually became forces for the enemy. Making the situation even worse. What? Lin Chen frowned. Broly and the others became forces for the enemy? What was going on? If you don't believe me, go and see for yourself on Planet Vegeta. Without Fuwa saying more, Lin Chen had already sensed Broly and others' auras. Indeed, as Fuwa said, Broly's aura was very strange now, seemingly different from the Broly he knew. And Caulifla and the others' auras were also off. Confirming this, Lin Chen didn't waste time. His body flickered a few times and he grabbed Supreme Kai Fuwa and headed straight for Planet Vegeta. Wait, why are you taking me? I am not strong, don't. Stop. At this moment, on Planet Vegeta of Universe 6. The homeland of the Saiyans in Universe 6 had already turned into a sea of flames. The raging flames had engulfed several major Saiyan cities on Planet Vegeta. Shouts of killing, sounds of battle, constantly echoed across the planet. And in a corner of the planet, Hit and Frost were flying low at high speed in a canyon with several companions who had once participated in the Tournament of Power. Damn it! Is that Saiyan here to help or to kill us? While flying, Frost shouted angrily. Save your energy, Frost. We must hold on until Kamehame-ha returns. Next to him, Hit spoke calmly. What's the use of him coming back? Do you think he can deal with that monster? Frost angrily pointed behind him, then suddenly shouted to the others, get out of the way. He's back again. In the next moment, the people of Universe 6 immediately scattered like birds and beasts, fleeing in all directions. A black energy blast exploded in the canyon, permanently destroying the canyon with its terrifying energy, forcing everyone to reveal their figures from the canyon. And the culprit behind all this, at this moment, was floating in mid-air, a wicked smile on his lips. His true identity was none other than Broly, whom Lin Chen had sent to support Universe 6. Not long after Broly appeared, two figures flew over. They were Caulifla and Kale, who had also come to help Universe 6 along with Broly. However, after the two girls appeared, they stood directly next to Broly, smiling wickedly as they looked at Hit and the others. Caulifla. Kale. Snap out of it. Kaba shouted, trying to awaken his companions. But Frost beside him poured cold water on his hopes. Fool. They've already been possessed by those two monster siblings. Haven't you realized it yet? At this, Kaba noticed that Caulifla and Kale looked different from before. Armor seemed to have grown on their bodies, their hair and eyebrows turned white, and their eyes became a deep blue. This wasn't some kind of transformation, it was how they looked after being possessed by those two monsters. Before this, the king of Saiyans on planet Sadala was killed by a Saiyan possessed by these monsters. Damn it! Is there no one who can help us? Kamehame-ha. Miss Vados. Kaba couldn't help but despairingly shout. They won't dare come. Caulifla and Kale grinned evilly, simultaneously launching an energy blast at Kaba and the others, intending to wipe them out. For the exhausted group, this attack was almost like the final straw. However, at that moment, an energy sphere suddenly descended from the sky. The terrifying energy shattered Caulifla and Kale's attack, also shattering the ground and causing everyone to retreat from the terrifying shockwaves. The entire ground instantly turned into a sea of flames. At the same time, a voice rang out from above. Kaba, true Saiyans don't seek help from gods. Kaba looked up to the sky and saw two figures standing in midair. And these two people were none other than Lin Chen and Supreme Kai Fuwa, who had rushed from the sacred world of the Kai. Mr. Lin Chen. Lin Chen. Lin Chen and Fuwa landed on the ground. Lin Chen could sense that Kaba and others' aura was extremely weak at the moment, obviously having gone through a fierce battle. Are you all okay? Fuwa-sama, you know the healing technique, right? Yes, yes. I'll heal them. You take care of those people. Of course. Then, Lin Chen turned his gaze towards Broly and the others in the distance. He never imagined that the reinforcements he sent to assist Universe 6 would turn into his enemies. What was going on? Lin Chen first looked at Caulifla and Kale. Their strange appearance reminded Lin Chen of someone. In the original work Dragon Ball GT, there was an android life-form baby created by the Tuffles. Caulifla and Kale's current appearance was exactly like how Vegeta and others looked and they were possessed by Baby in the original work. So, Broly was also possessed. But when Lin Chen shifted his gaze to Broly, he saw a different scene. From the outside, Broly didn't seem to show signs of being possessed. However, the aura emanating from Broly now was not his usual aura but a dark red one, full of evil. His eyes were also without pupils, as if his powers had gone berserk. Broly. Kaba, what's going on with them? Uncle Lin Chen, Caulifla and Kale are being controlled by two strange people. As for Broly, he's infected by the evil thoughts of the Saiyan demon. Saiyan demon? What's that? Lin Chen muttered to himself. Suddenly, he noticed a look of fear on Fuwa's face, who was treating Hit and the others. It seemed like Fuwa knew something. However, before Lin Chen could ask, the crazed Broly suddenly threw a black energy sphere towards Lin Chen. Ha! Lin Chen waved his hand and deflected the energy sphere. Broly, snap out of it. What evil thoughts? Didn't you already overcome them? Lin Chen tried to awaken Broly, but his shout seemed to have no effect. Broly roared, and his body erupted in black aura, launching hundreds of energy blasts at Lin Chen like a rapid-fire cannon. It seems he has really lost his rationality. Lin Chen casually deflected the energy blasts while analyzing the situation. Broly's condition was indeed strange. Although he had lost his rationality, it wasn't a berserk state. Because at this moment, Broly was only using the power of his legendary Super Saiyan form, not even using his full power form. Compared to Broly in a true berserk state, he was much weaker. Kaba, do you know any way to awaken Broly? Lin Chen asked while deflecting energy blasts. Maybe incapacitating him would work. Kaba replied. That's simple. Lin Chen clicked his tongue and instantly teleported to Broly's side, then he crossed his fingers like a sword and tapped Broly's neck. Broly immediately lost consciousness and fell from the sky. Now, about these two, Lin Chen turned his head, looking at Caulifla and Kale. Hey, Kamen. This guy seems ridiculously strong. Oren, let's retreat. He seems to be that guy named Lin Chen. The possessed Caulifla and Kale tried to leave, but at that moment, Lin Chen appeared beside them. They are my future daughters-in-law, I can't let you use their body to act recklessly. He struck with both fists. Immediately, Caulifla and Kale spat out a mouthful of bile. Furthermore, two mercury-like figures were blasted out of their bodies. The two mercury-like monsters turned into a male and female humanoid on the ground, then they immediately jumped up and fled into the distance. Lin Chen watched them leave and didn't immediately give chase, instead turning to Broly and others. Caulifla, Kale, are you both okay? Under Supreme Kai Fua's healing, Caulifla and Kale quickly regained consciousness. Next, Broly also held his head, looking dizzy but recovering his senses. Seeing Lin Chen, the three of them looked guilty. Sorry, Brother Lynx, we came to provide support but didn't expect to turn into this. Broly apologized. Lin Chen shook his head. It's not your fault. But Broly, what happened to you just now? Brother Lynx, I encountered a Saiyan when I arrived on planet Sadala. He had a dark red aura, and I just touched him and lost consciousness. Just a touch and you lost consciousness? How is that possible? Lin Chen wondered. After so many years of training, Broly's willpower had greatly improved. How could he lose consciousness from just a touch? He's not lying. At that moment, Supreme Kai Fua spoke up. Fua looked serious as he said to Lin Chen, he's not wrong, because he encountered the Saiyan demon who caused the downfall of your Universe 7 Saiyans. Evil Saiyan, Cumber. Lin Chen turned around, looking at Universe SXS Supreme Kai Fua. His words just now seemed to be revealing to Lin Chen a hidden past. Fua-sama, do you know what happened to Broly just now? Yes. Broly had been invaded by evil energy. In this world, there is only one person who can use aura to completely change the personality of a Saiyan, turning them evil. That person's name is Cumber. He is an evil Saiyan who once roamed the Universe 6 and Universe 7. Moreover, Mr. Lin Chen, as far as I know, the Saiyans of Universe 7 once faced a decline all because of Cumber. A decline? Universe 7? Kaba was a bit puzzled. In Universe 7, where powerful Saiyans like Lin Chen and Broly were born, why would Supreme Kai Fua say they had declined? But Lin Chen understood. Indeed, if it weren't for Lin Chen's appearance, the Saiyans of Universe 7 would have faced extinction in almost 90% of the known timelines in the Dragon Ball world. Although Goku and Vegeta, along with a few other Saiyans, were still active on the world stage, as a race, the Saiyans were destined for extinction. Initially, Lin Chen thought it was all because Frieza destroyed the Saiyans' homeworld, Planet Vegeta. But later, as Lin Chen himself became the king of Saiyans, he gradually realized that even before him, the Saiyans of Universe 7 were not remarkable. Compared to their counterparts in Universe 6, the power level of Universe 7's Saiyans was insufficient to be called a warrior race. Even the strongest fighters among them had power levels below 20,000. With such levels, how could one not say they had declined compared to the Saiyans of planet Sadala in Universe 6 during the same period? However, from Fua's words, it seemed that it was because of that evil Saiyan, Cumber. Fua-sama, can you please explain in detail? Lin Chen came back to himself and asked with curiosity. He was no longer in a hurry to chase down the two fleeing Tuffle's life forms. It's like this. Fua began to explain in detail. When Lin Chen combined what he had just heard with what he knew from the past, a hidden Saiyan secret that had long been forgotten or overlooked by people was finally being revealed to the world once again. The story of Cumber began with the civil war of ancient Saiyans of Universe 7. As far as Lin Chen knew, there was once a planet called Sadala in Universe 7, which was the home of Universe 7 Saiyans. However, in the distant past, a civil war erupted among the Saiyans on planet Sadala. The outcome of the civil war was the destruction of planet Sadala, the Saiyan homeland, forcing the surviving Saiyans to wander the universe before ultimately being forced to immigrate to Planet Vegeta, which was then known as Planet Plant. And according to Fuwa, the instigator of the civil war back then was the evil Saiyan, Cumber. By harnessing the power of 6 Saiyans with righteous hearts, a righteous Super Saiyan god could be born. In contrast, Cumber was a complete Saiyan demon, a gathering of all the negative emotions of Saiyans. His evil power was so strong that anyone, regardless of the kind of Saiyan, would be infected by his malevolence just by being near him. Under Cumber's influence, Saiyans who once prided themselves on righteousness gradually turned evil and warlike. Among them, those merely tainted by the power of evil became more aggressive, becoming bloodthirsty and savage. Those Saiyans directly contaminated by Cumber's bloodline gave birth to monsters known as legendary Super Saiyans. These monsters inherently possessed terrifying power inherited from Cumber, but they were extremely dangerous and uncontrollable. They showed no mercy even towards their fellow Saiyans, becoming outright killing machines. To resist Cumber's brutal rule and influence, Saiyans unwilling to submit gathered together. Under the leadership of an ancient Saiyan named Yamoshi, a prolonged war broke out between the two sides. The ultimate result of the war was the destruction of planet Sadala and Yamoshi's defeat. Under the influence of Cumber's evil power, Saiyans gradually forgot and lost their past strength. Apart from retaining the ability to massively increase their power through their tails, the Super Saiyan transformations that Saiyans once had, because of the decreasing presence of S-cells in Saiyan bodies, gradually vanished, becoming nothing more than a legend passed down among Saiyans. This is the truth behind the decline of the Saiyans in Universe 7. According to Fuwa, after wreaking havoc in Universe 7, Cumber traversed through time and space and arrived in Universe 6, attempting to conquer the Saiyans there. However, this time, Cumber failed. Under the resistance of Universe 6 Saiyans, Cumber left behind the legend of the demon Saiyan in Universe 6 and disappeared without a trace. So that's how it is. Lin Chen never expected that the mystery of the Saiyans that had troubled him for so long would finally be revealed today. Mr. Lin Chen, Cumber is still on planet Sadala. He has taken control of the Saiyan Palace. His companions seem to have gone to other universes. While they are not back yet, please make sure to deal with them as soon as possible. Fuwa pleaded. Now that Kampa and Vados were absent, he could only place his hopes on Lin Chen. However, even without Fuwa's plea, Lin Chen would inevitably confront Cumber. Saiyan Demon. Humph. Lin Chen sneered and looked down at Broly and the others. Broly, can you still fight? No problem, Brother Lynx. I'll be careful this time. Broly stood up, clenching his fists. Uncle Lin Chen, please let us help too. Caulifla and the others volunteered. Hit and the others also nodded. Their previous sorry state was all because of the battle with Cumber's companions. Now that Fuwa had restored their strength, they vowed not to let it happen again. Only Fuwa desperately shook his head, indicating he wasn't a combatant. Was it okay for him to not go? Lin Chen disregarded Fuwa's opinion. After confirming that everyone was willing to participate, he used instant transmission and led the group, including Supreme Kai Fuwa, and directly arrived at the Saiyan capital. Although Lin Chen had never been to the Saiyan capital of planet Sadala, Cumber's evil aura was as clear as the sun. Whoosh! Perhaps it's because both are Saiyan capitals, but from style to layout, the palace of planet Sadala was almost identical to Lin Chen's palace on planet Vegeta. However, at this moment, a heavy atmosphere had shrouded the entire palace. Moreover, the interior of the palace was pitch dark, without a single ray of light. Yet, just as everyone was looking around, a very powerful aura instantly enveloped them. Except for Lin Chen, everyone seemed to be bound by this aura, unable to move at all. Such a powerful aura. "I can't move," exclaimed Caulifla. It wasn't just her, Kale, Kaba, and others were the same. Broly even knelt on the ground as if bearing a tremendous burden. Obviously, this aura seemed to have a particularly strong impact on Saiyans. Even Hit and the weaker ones like Botamo and Automagetta had reactions, but none as extreme as Broly and the others. This aura clearly had a natural suppressive effect on Saiyans. But just then, a cold shout rang out. "Stop trying to act mysterious and show yourself." In the next moment, a silver-white light appeared. Lin Chen transformed into Super Saiyan Silver Gray, using his own light to dispel the darkness. And at that moment, everyone also discovered that they weren't alone. Not far away, on a throne, a brawny figure sat. The figure was clad in a red ancient Saiyan attire, with messy long hair reaching his back, golden irises, and an unusually robust build, almost comparable to Broly in his full-power legendary Super Saiyan form. The figure's face was not clearly visible because a strange mask covered most of it. This person arrogantly sat on what should have been the throne of Planet Sedala's Saiyan King. Beside him were some female Saiyans with a dazed look in their eyes, fawning over him. "Ah!" Seeing that person, Supreme Kai Fuwa suddenly exclaimed and hid behind Lin Chen, saying, "Mr. Lin Chen, he's the evil Saiyan Cumber." "Evil Saiyan Cumber?" Lin Chen furrowed his brows tightly. So, this was the legendary Saiyan demon. Indeed, he looked very evil. Even from this distance, Lin Chen could feel the almost naturally generated malevolent aura emanating from him. Cumber was initially indifferent to the arrival of the others, but after Lin Chen transformed into Super Saiyan Silver Gray, his eyes widened and he stood up from the throne. A deep voice sounded, "This aura, oh. I didn't expect that after so many years, I could still encounter a Saiyan with such power." Are you Lin Chen?" "Yes, I didn't expect that the evil Saiyan who caused the decline of Universe 7's Saiyans back then would now become a lackey of Hearts," Lin Chen replied coldly. "Hearts? That trash. If it weren't for Lord Mechikabura's instructions, how could such trash be worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as me?" Cumber said disdainfully. "Mechikabura? So, there is also the dark demon realm behind you?" Lin Chen keenly caught onto the slip in his words. "What does knowing that matter? Today, you will all die here." Cumber waved his hand, and countless figures smashed through the walls, rushing into the palace. "Your Majesty! Big Brother!" Kaba and Caulifla exclaimed in shock. The figures who had rushed in were a group of Saiyans, many of whom were familiar faces. However, the eyes of these Saiyans were emitting a bloodthirsty red glow, and their entire bodies were enveloped in a crimson aura. Clearly, just like Broly before, they had lost their rationality due to Cumber's evil ki. Cumber's booming voice echoed out, "Back then, I was repelled by Universe 6 Saiyans, but today, the Universe 6 Saiyans are completely under my control. The hypocritical justice will vanish, and bloodshed and slaughter will become the Saiyans' way of survival." Just as Cumber's words fell, a blue blast wave suddenly flew over, directly crashing into Cumber and sending him flying off the throne. "If you want to fight, then fight. Why bother with so much nonsense?" Lin Chen's hand was raised as he spoke coldly. Moments later, Cumber emerged from a pile of rubble, his gaze icy. "Oh, such power, it's really unbelievable. In the past, there has never been a Saiyan as powerful as you. Times have changed, idiot. But with that meager strength of yours, you couldn't possibly stand against me." Cumber shook both his arms, assuming a fighting stance. Immediately after, an exceptionally tremendous dark aura emanated from him. Under this aura, the palace's ceiling began to collapse, and the walls started to crumble. In the next moment, Cumber's body flashed and he instantly appeared in front of Lin Chen, swinging his fist at him. Lin Chen raised his arms to block in front of his chest, but Cumber's strength was even greater than he imagined. Boom! With a muffled sound, Cumber's fist, along with Lin Chen's arms, slammed into his chest, sending him flying out of the palace like a meteor. Go! Saiyans! Eliminate them! Cumber roared, rushing out after Lin Chen. And those Saiyans tainted by evil ki, under his order, yelled and charged toward Hit and the others. Ah! Help! Supreme Kai Fuwa screamed and once again went to hide behind Hit. Kaba said, "Everyone, they're just influenced by evil ki, don't kill them." Understood. Everyone shouted, then they were drowned out by the countless Saiyans. At that moment, it seemed like all the Saiyans on the planet were rushing towards them. Meanwhile, outside the palace, Lin Chen was astonished by Cumber's power. Just now, Cumber hadn't even transformed, yet in his normal state, he could send him flying with just one punch. Doesn't that mean Cumber's normal state already had the power to rival a Super Saiyan god? The legendary Saiyan demon was indeed not simple. Kill, kill, kill. From afar, Cumber came charging again. The dark red aura around Cumber suddenly condensed into a claw, reaching directly for Lin Chen. The speed was incredibly fast, arriving in the blink of an eye. Lin Chen was seeing aura being condensed into limbs for an attack for the first time and was caught off guard. He only managed to throw out a ki blast, attempting to disperse the aura claw. But the aura claw seemed to have a life of its own. It turned into smoke before the ki blast hit, dodging Lin Chen's attack, and then it recondensed before grabbing him. Caught by the aura claw, Lin Chen struggled to break free but found the dark red aura claw formed by Cumber surprisingly powerful. Even with his Super Saiyan silver-gray strength, he couldn't immediately escape. At that moment, Cumber opened his palm and brought it close against Lin Chen's body. A dark red energy sphere bombarded Lin Chen. Instantly, a dazzling light engulfed Lin Chen. The next moment, a thunderous explosion echoed in the sky. The violent waves of energy sent Hit and the others who had just escaped from the palace staggering. What's going on? Where's Lin Chen? Amidst everyone's shocked gaze, Cumber slowly flew towards them amid the explosion's flames. All right, it's your turn next. What? Their eyes widened. Could Lin Chen have been defeated? No, that's impossible. Cumber. Don't look down on Lin Chen. He's the #1 expert of the multiverse, personally recognized by Zeno-sama. Supreme Kai Fuwa shouted loudly from behind Hit. Cumber sneered and burst into laughter. But at that moment, a figure suddenly appeared above him and punched, knocking him down from the sky. And this figure was none other than Lin Chen. Lin Chen. Uncle Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked up and said to Hit and others, "Get away from here, all of you. Dealing with this guy isn't so simple. Stay as far away from here as you can, don't get caught up in our fight." Upon hearing this, Hit and the others immediately led the pursuers and flew towards the outskirts of the capital. Then, Lin Chen turned back his gaze downward. On the ground, Cumber had climbed out of a crater, glaring fiercely at him. This guy. Lin Chen's eyes twitched. This Cumber seemed to be a special Saiyan, who is even more formidable than a legendary Super Saiyan. Whether it was speed or power, Cumber's strength far exceeded the limits of a Saiyan. Even Lin Chen, in a straightforward comparison of their normal state strength, was probably not Cumber's match. So, if this Cumber were to transform into Super Saiyan. Just as this thought crossed Lin Chen's mind, a red light flashed down below and Cumber's hair had turned golden. Super Saiyan. Let's fight, Lin Chen. I haven't felt this excited in a long time. Let's battle. Let's kill. A powerful aura centered around Cumber instantly swept across the area. The buildings of the Saiyan capital around them crumbled under this violent aura. As one of the buildings crashed to the ground with a thunderous roar, Cumber leaped up and lunged at Lin Chen. With just one exchange, Lin Chen was sent flying backwards. Under the Super Saiyan transformation, Cumber's power even overwhelmed Super Saiyan Silver Grey. This guy. Lin Chen gritted his teeth, a red light flashing around him as he charged at Cumber once again. Under the Super Kaioken's boost, Lin Chen's fist clashed head-on with Cumber's. Instantly, a violent aura erupted from the clash, sweeping in all directions. Bang! 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 After each punch, the two figures flickered incessantly across the partially destroyed Saiyan capital. Every collision of their fists and feet unleashed destructive shockwaves, wreaking havoc on everything around them. At this moment, the entire planet Sadala trembled violently. Kaba and the others who had fled into the distance couldn't help but worry whether planet Sadala would be destroyed in the intense battle. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Cumber let out an angry roar and suddenly raised both hands. The next second, a dark red energy sphere condensed above his palms. As Cumber continuously poured energy into the energy sphere, the dark red sphere began to expand rapidly at a visible rate. In just a few breaths, the energy sphere, originally the size of a basketball, grew to the size of a small sun. Even Kaba and the others fighting in the distance could see it. Seeing the astonishing size of the energy sphere, everyone's faces changed drastically. If that strike hit the ground, Sadala would probably be completely destroyed. What's happening over there? While they were feeling frightened, Lin Chen frowned. I wanted to conserve my energy, but it seems you've gotten carried away, Cumber. Your era is over. Without any hesitation, Lin Chen immediately assumed a stance. Came. The next second, a dazzling light appeared between Lin Chen's palms. Once the Kamehameha took shape, Lin Chen immediately pushed out the massive Kamehameha. At the same time, the dark red energy sphere above Cumber's head was also hurled downward. Full power energy wave. For a moment, the enormous energy sphere clashed with the Kamehameha and it turned into a deadlock. This ends now. Lin Chen's eyes suddenly widened, and the next moment, his body underwent a drastic change. Silver gray fur covered his entire body as Lin Chen instantly transformed into Super Saiyan Silver Gray 4. The next second, the Kamehameha he unleashed suddenly expanded by several times along with his transformation. The massive Kamehameha first engulfed Cumber's dark red energy sphere, then surged toward Cumber. However, Lin Chen noticed that just before his attack could hit Cumber, the Tuffle siblings who had escaped from him earlier flashed by and rescued Cumber. After taking Cumber off the path of the Kamehameha, the two of them didn't hesitate at all. They grabbed Cumber's feet and disappeared from the spot, leaving behind not even a trace of aura. Lin Chen used his divine power to sense and confirmed that Cumber and the two Tuffle siblings had left Universe 6. They escaped. Lin Chen felt a bit regretful. Cumber and his group were exceptionally dangerous. Since they had launched attacks in both Universe 7 and Universe 6, it was likely that other universes wouldn't be spared either. If he didn't finish the fight quickly on his side, he might not make it in time to support Kranoa's time patrol. Hey! Mr. Lin Chen! At this moment, shouts came from afar. Lin Chen turned to see Supreme Kai Fua flying towards him while leading Broly and others. After the two sides converged, Lin Chen learned that after Cumber and his group left, the Saiyans who had been controlled by evil aura had all awakened one by one. Although a few remained unconscious due to excessive corruption, most had broken free from control. Now Kaba and the others were explaining the situation to everyone. Brother Lynx, what do we do next? Broly asked. He was also worried about Goku and the others, but Cumber and his group had only temporarily escaped, the crisis was not completely resolved. Therefore, for a moment, he didn't know what to do. Upon hearing Broly's inquiry, Lin Chen pondered for a moment, about to speak. But at that moment, he suddenly raised his head. Several auras familiar to Lin Chen just appeared above their heads. Following Lin Chen's action, Broly and the others also sensed something and looked up one after another. Moments later, everyone saw a group of figures descending to the ground. Jiren? Lin Chen exclaimed in surprise. Appearing before them were some members of Universe 11's Pride Troopers, including Jiren, Toppo, and Dispo. In addition to them, Lin Chen also spotted warriors from Universe 2 and Universe 3, as well as the Supreme Kai of Universe 11, Kai. Lin Chen. Jiren nodded at Lin Chen and walked over. Has the battle here ended? Yes, how about you guys? Wait a minute, Lin Chen suddenly paused, asking, were you attacked as well? Yes. Several universes, including ours, were attacked by someone named Hearts. Jiren explained. On the other side, Toppo added, Lin Chen, everyone here has gathered to find Hearts and his group. We've discovered that Hearts seem to be using something called the Universe Seed to gather energy. They've already collected most of the universe's energy, leaving only Universe 6 and Universe 7. No, only Universe 7 remains. A cold voice suddenly spoke up, Supreme Kai of Universe 11 said from the side. He looked around and explained, there's a scent of Universe Seed in the air. Thinking about it, Hit seemed to realize something. Lin Chen, do you remember what we talked about before? Before you arrived, Cumber and his companions released a unique crystal-like object into the sky. Could that have been the Universe Seed? That's right, it's the Universe Seed. Jiren nodded, looking at Lin Chen. Lin Chen, their next target should be Universe 7. Those BA** tards caused havoc in Universe 11, and we have a score to settle with them. Let us help. Lin Chen will help too. We also have a score to settle with Hearts and his group. Hit clenched his fist tightly. Alright, let's go back. Lin Chen nodded, looking towards the distance. Including the people from Universe 6, there were a total of over a dozen people heading to Universe 7 this time. With so many people, it was naturally impossible for Lin Chen alone to transport them to Universe 7. Fortunately, Kai provided assistance this time. Previously, he had led Jiren and others to traverse the universes. With his help, along with Lin Chen and Supreme Kai Fuwa, warriors from Universe 2, 3, 6, 7, and 11 quickly returned to Universe 7. Meanwhile, at the heart of Universe 7, on Planet Vegeta, a huge crystal-like object was suspended above the royal capital of Planet Vegeta. This crystal was surrounded by several sharp spikes and a few small green light spheres, looking nothing like a natural object. When the crystal appeared, the Saiyans on Planet Vegeta quickly noticed this sudden unknown object and turned their attention towards it. However, due to the crystal capturing most of their attention, no one noticed that under the crystal, an unwelcome group of visitors had also set foot on Planet Vegeta. Ah, so this is Universe 7's Saiyan planet? It looks like a prosperous planet indeed. Cumber, I never thought your Saiyans could develop such a civilization. Impressive. A man with silver slick-back hair and dressed in an elegant fur coat, laughed. Behind this man stood another group of people, including Cumber and his group who had stirred up trouble in Universe 6. Hearts. Stop the useless chatter. Quickly absorb the energy and complete the Universe Seed's power. Cumber said with a displeased expression. But Hearts remained unperturbed. Why are you in such a hurry? Are you afraid the Saiyans you couldn't defeat will come back? Lags told me Cooler and the others died at the hands of Lin Chen. And now even you were defeated. I'm curious to see what this Saiyan is like, to be so powerful. At that moment, Hearts suddenly looked up at the sky. A group of Saiyans was flying towards the Universe Seed. Leading them were several Saiyans with red hair, notably the Saiyan God Defense Squad of Planet Vegeta. More humans with godly ki. These Saiyans, how far will they go to defile the power of gods? Among Heart's group, a figure with white hair stepped forward, seemingly ready to confront the Saiyans. Heart smiled and stopped him. Let me handle this. He extended his fist towards the defense squad above. With a gentle squeeze, the flying Saiyans were enveloped in colorful cubes and fell to the ground. As the defense squad members fell, their screams echoed from all around. However, just as they were about to hit the ground, several figures appeared out of nowhere and rescued the Saiyans, bringing them safely to the ground. Hearts narrowed his eyes as he recognized a few familiar figures among them. "Found you, Hearts." A booming voice suddenly echoed above the crowd, causing Hearts and his group to look up and see Lin Chen, Jiren, and the others. Hearts naturally recognized Jiren and the others in the crowd, but Lin Chen was a newcomer to him. However, Hearts quickly learned of Lin Chen's identity. "Oh, so you're Lin Chen." Hearts. As Lin Chen landed on the ground, his gaze swept over Hearts and the group behind him. Apart from Hearts, whose strength was unknown, the others were all powerful. Not only was there Cumber and two Tuffles who he had fought in Universe 6 before, but also a glass-like woman and an old opponent of Lin Chen, Fused Zamasu. Furthermore, there was a group of individuals at least as strong as Universe 11's Dispo, whom Lin Chen had never seen before, likely from other timelines. Including them, their numbers exceeded Lin Chen's group. Perhaps because of this, Hearts seemed completely unafraid of Lin Chen and the others. "You all came quite quickly," Hearts chuckled. "Hearts. Why are you attacking all the universes?" Kai asked. "Why?" Hearts shrugged. "All right, then, since the plan is at the final stage, I'll have a talk with you gods. My goal is to liberate humans from the clutches of you gods." Before he saw Hearts with his own eyes, Lin Chen had heard from Whis that this guy called Hearts had once led humans and killed the gods of 4 universes. Now that he looked at him, this guy was indeed crazy, wanting to liberate humans from the gods. "Those gods don't seem to restrict our freedom, do they?" Lin Chen remarked. Upon hearing this, the smile that had been on Heart's face faded. "What do you know?" His voice suddenly became sharp. "What do you mean by no restrictions on freedom? Don't you know what those gods have done? To maintain the so-called balance of the universe, these gods act recklessly, deciding the fate of a human civilization according to their own will. Billions, hundreds of billions, trillions of humans have disappeared because of a whim of these gods. They don't even have the freedom to decide their own life and death, and you call that not being restricted?" After hearing Heart's words, Lin Chen suddenly understood that this Hearts might be a kind of paranoid in some sense. What he said was indeed true, but the issue was that these actions were actually efforts made by the gods to promote the development of the universe. Civilizations in the universe were like rice in a paddy field. To ensure the development of the entire paddy field, constant weeding of the field was necessary. And those human civilizations eliminated by the gods were like weeds in that paddy field. Resources in the universe were limited, allowing those civilizations without potential to develop unrestrictedly could deplete the universe's resources and limit the development potential of other civilizations. The job of the god of destruction was to eliminate these civilizations like weeds, thereby creating conditions for the development of other civilizations. Although it might seem cruel to the civilizations being eliminated, the god of destruction was, after all, a god, who has transcended the mundane world. They needed to consider the development of the entire universe. But Hearts failed to see this. He only looked at the whole situation from the perspective of the civilizations that were eliminated. What else could a person like this be if not paranoid? Just as Lin Chen was thinking this, Hearts raised his eyebrows. Paranoid? Wrong. Lin Chen, I am not paranoid, I am just a revolutionary fighting for the liberation of all humanity. Huh? Lin Chen was taken aback for a moment. Did he just speak out loud? How did Hearts know what he was thinking? And what revolutionary? He was just a lunatic. It seems you don't believe me. Somehow, Hearts again guessed what Lin Chen was thinking. He pointed to the sky. With this universe seed, not only gods but even those angels, Grand Priest, and even Zeno can be destroyed. What? Everyone, including Lin Chen, looked incredulous. Heart's gaze swept over them as he laughed. I know you think it's impossible, right? How terrifying Zeno is, I understand it the most. Because I've witnessed him destroy 4 universes. But it doesn't matter. Once the universe seed's energy is full, the impossible will become possible. Universe seed has already absorbed the energy of 11 universes, only universe 7 is left. Kamen, Oren, Zamasu, Cumber, Lags. Go down and help them, let their energy also become part of the universe seed. As Hearts gave the command, the 5 people he named immediately charged toward Lin Chen and the others with others following them. Seeing this, Jiren and others also prepared to fight. However, at that moment, Supreme Kai of Universe 7, Shin, suddenly teleported to the scene. Everyone. Mr. Whis asked me to relay a message. The injuries you receive during this battle will become energy for the universe seed. What? The people who were about to attack were suddenly stunned. Their own injuries would become energy for the universe seed? Does that mean they can't afford to be injured in the upcoming battle? Setting aside Hearts, who hadn't made a move, the rest of the group, especially the 5 individuals named by Hearts, were not ordinary people. They had experienced their power firsthand when each universe was attacked before. Just as everyone was at a loss, Lin Chen waved his hand. It's okay, let me deal with them. Lin Chen. Seeing Lin Chen actually wanting to challenge everyone alone, anyone else at the scene would have thought he was crazy. But when it comes to Lin Chen, everyone didn't think he was just talking big. After all, Lin Chen's strength speaks for itself. All Saiyans in the capital, listen up. I am Lynx. All Saiyans are to evacuate the capital immediately. Without my order, no one is allowed to approach. Lin Chen took a deep breath and issued orders to the people in the capital. Soon, he saw countless twinkling lights flying away from the capital. Those were the evacuating Saiyan civilians. After confirming it, Lin Chen immediately assumed a fighting stance. What? On Heart's side, seeing only Lin Chen stepping forward to fight, they were all surprised. Be careful, this guy is not easy to deal with. Cumber, who had experienced Lin Chen's power, was the first to speak. But his words didn't receive much attention. The woman named Lags rushed out of the crowd, soaring into the sky. Like Hearts, Lags was the last survivor of a universe destroyed by Zeno. The only difference was that Lags came from another timeline. Lags' race was called the Glass Tribe, possessing incredibly magical abilities. She could control anything that could form into glass. As she waved her hands in the air, the chemicals in the air immediately condensed into glass icebergs, falling down towards Lin Chen. Although she acted rashly, Lags also took Cumber's words into consideration. Just as her first move was executed and before seeing its result, she launched a second move. Her powerful racial ability continued to stimulate. Spikes of glass shot out from her body, reflecting light in the air, attacking Lin Chen together with the glass icebergs in the sky. Well done. Lin Chen's eyes turned cold as he instantly transformed into Super Saiyan Silver Grey 4, preparing to deal with her quickly. His divine power radiated out, and portals appeared in front of Lag's attacks, directly teleporting those glass spikes and glass icebergs to the surface of the sun in the star system where Planet Vegeta was located. At temperatures of millions of degrees, those glasses turned directly into liquid form and were swallowed by the sun, disappearing without a trace. And then, Lin Chen's body flickered and he appeared behind Lags, throwing a punch. Bang! Visible shockwaves spread across the sky. Lag's body stiffened, cracks started to appear on her face as if it was glass, and eventually, her whole body shattered completely. What? Lady Lags is dead. When they saw Lags, one of Heart's top 5 subordinates, being easily defeated like this, the ordinary subordinates who had followed Hearts here were all stunned. No one expected that one of the top 5 experts on Heart's side would die like this. Even Hearts himself was somewhat in disbelief, muttering to himself, "Lags. Once the universe seed is filled with energy, I will revive you." Lagsa's death had a profound impact on Hearts and his group. But now, they had reached a point where they had to act. "Sister, let's use that technique." Suddenly, Orin shouted. Kamen glanced at him and then reached out with her hand, grabbing her brother. "Let's do it, brother." A dazzling light erupted at that moment as the two Tuffle's artificial lifeforms suddenly erupted out with a fierce aura. For Lin Chen, who had watched Dragon Ball GT, Kamen and Orin, the two Tuffles were not unfamiliar. He knew they were artificial lifeforms like Baby, possessing a special parasitic ability. However, it was clear that Kamen and Orin were different from Baby. Baby, without a host, had almost no combat capability. But Kamen and Orin were not the same. A massive energy wave spread out in all directions, and amidst the blinding white light, Kamen and Orin fused together. Then, a slender figure with a pure white body, adorned with red and blue energy gems, and sporting white hair twisted into braids, appeared before everyone. His body was emanating a power far beyond what Kamen and Orin had individually. "I am Kamehameha," a mixed male and female voice echoed from their body. "I didn't expect you to fuse. I wonder how much stronger you've become," Lin Chen said with a slight smile as he reached out and a black sickle of sorrow appeared in his hand. In the next moment, Lin Chen charged towards Kamehameha, swinging the sickle of sorrow at it. However, Kamehameha just smiled slightly, opening its arms without any defense, welcoming Lin Chen's attack. Lin Chen raised an eyebrow. What was the difference between their actions and suicide? Before he could ponder further, the black sickle of sorrow swept past Kamehameha. Strangely, though, the blade that could cut through space did not inflict any damage on Kamehameha's body. How is this possible? Lin Chen hadn't said anything yet, but warriors of other universes watching nearby were already exclaiming in surprise. Such enemies capable of self-repair were extremely rare in their worlds. However, for Lin Chen, facing such opponents was not a first. Lin Chen's eyes narrowed, a black light emanating from his hands and crawling towards his black energy blade. Buzz! Lin Chen waved the blade and said, "Let's try again. No matter how many times you try, I won't be harmed." So talkative. Lin Chen leaped forward, landing in front of Kamehameha and swinging his energy blade once more. The black sickle of sorrow again slashed towards Kamehameha. Initially unconcerned, Kamehameha suddenly sensed something amiss as the blade approached. Just then, Hearts behind him shouted, "Kamehameha, dodge quickly." "Huh!" Kamehameha moved aside, but Lin Chen's black sickle of sorrow had already sliced through his right shoulder. The black blade turned the part it touched into grains of sand, dispersing with a breeze. "Ah!" Kamehameha screamed, ultimately losing his entire right arm as he narrowly escaped from Lin Chen's black sickle of sorrow. With his right arm gone, Kamehameha's face turned deathly pale. Power. Power of destruction. How can a mere mortal use the power of destruction? Lin Chen sneered but didn't answer, ready to continue swinging the sickle of sorrow at Kamehameha. But unexpectedly, another black sickle of sorrow swept in from the side. Clang! The two sickle of sorrow clashed together. Lin Chen turned to look and saw that it was none other than fused Zamasu who had attacked. "Kamehameha, you good for nothing. Scram to the side, Lin Chen is mine. Zamasu, you." Though displeased, Kamehameha, severely injured, had no choice but to retreat to Heart's side. Lin Chen. Zamasu glared gloomily at Lin Chen, his eyes filled with boundless resentment. If looks could kill, Lin Chen would have died countless times by now. "Zamasu, I never expected you to still be alive. I distinctly remember having killed all of you." Lin Chen had a taunting look on his face, deliberately trying to provoke him. Zamasu took the bait as expected, immediately replying, "As a god, I naturally left a contingency plan." When all Zamasus converged in World 16, I was the only one who didn't participate just in case. Now, although the others are dead, I have inherited their will and will continue the Project Zero Mortals. Oh, I see. So, you ran away. I could kill all the other Zamasus, then naturally, I can kill you too. Lin Chen's eyes turned cold as his body burst into action. Bang! The next moment, blades clashed in a flurry of swordplay between the two, their black sickle of sorrow constantly colliding. With Lin Chen and Zamasu at the center, the surrounding area within several kilometers was enveloped in billowing dust. How is this possible? My power has surpassed that of the other Zamasu from before, why can't I defeat him? Zamasu looked bewildered. As the one who had run away, in order to defeat Lin Chen, he had been traveling through different timelines, engaging in battles and honing his skills against various experts without revealing himself. With the help of Goku's Saiyan cells in his body, he had grown stronger. So, at this moment, his strength was no longer comparable to those fused Zamasus. Yet despite his considerable improvement, he still couldn't gain any advantage against Lin Chen. While Zamasu was stunned, Lin Chen was also somewhat surprised. Oh, so that's why you're so confident. Have you gained new insights into the power of destruction and power of space? But unfortunately, I'm not the same as before either. The next moment, Lin Chen's movements accelerated drastically, almost disappearing in an instant before Zamasu's eyes. Zamasu whipped around, only to find Lin Chen standing behind him. And he hadn't seen any of it just now. You didn't use your full strength earlier. Correct, but there's no prize for guessing right. Lin Chen smiled and raised the sickle of sorrow. Seeing the danger, Zamasu immediately tried to flee. But how could his speed compare to Lin Chen when he was serious? Just as Zamasu tried to escape, Lin Chen began to wave around the black sickle of sorrow in his hand. Swish, swish, swish. The clothes in front of Zamasu's chest instantly became tattered, and divine blood sprayed out. Bang! Lin Chen followed up with a kick directly to Zamasu's face, sending him flying. Boom! A loud noise echoed across the ground. Zamasu's face scraped against the ground as he flew dozens of meters before coming to a stop. Before he could attempt to rise again, Lin Chen's figure appeared behind him, planting a foot on his head. Then, Lin Chen shoved Zamasu's head into the ground. Hearts, why would you bring Zamasu here as your subordinate? Don't you know his dream is to eradicate humans from the multiverse? Lin Chen interrogated Hearts while feeling Zamasu struggling violently beneath his foot. However, Zamasu's struggle was futile against his power. Hearts smirked slightly. As long as it helps achieve my dream, even if it's the power of gods, I don't mind borrowing it. What's a mere Zamasu? The universe seed I possess has been given by a deity. A deity? Isn't it a demon god? Lin Chen frowned slightly. He. Hearts shook his head. Lin Chen, the name of that deity will surely surprise you because his name is. Boom. Suddenly, a loud noise interrupted Heart's words. The ground beneath Lin Chen's feet exploded, and a massive crater appeared as a result. Seizing the opportunity, Zamasu escaped into the sky, looking disheveled. He panted heavily, glaring at Lin Chen with bloodshot eyes. Lin Chen. Unforgivable. How dare you act against a god? I. Zamasu, you're really annoying. Lin Chen's eyes turned cold as Zamasu interrupted at a crucial moment, murderous intent emanating from him. His body appeared in front of Zamasu almost instantly. Not by teleportation but purely by speed. A red aura surrounded Lin Chen's body. With the Super Kaioken unleashed at full power, Lin Chen's speed had surpassed what Zamasu could react to. Bang! Then, Lin Chen's fist landed ruthlessly on Zamasu's chest. The terrifying power caused a large part of Zamasu's chest to cave in, sending him flying again. Impossible. How can a human strength reach this level? Zamasu's eyes were filled with incredulity and fear as he was sent flying backward. He, a human, is more powerful than me, a deity. Impossible, it's impossible. Swish. Once again, Lin Chen's body flashed, immediately appearing behind Zamasu, aiming another kick at Zamasu's waist. Zamasu had no chance to fight back and could only be beaten up by him. On the sidelines, Jiren and the others looked unsurprised, knowing that the strength shown by Lin Chen wasn't his utmost limit. However, Hearts and his group were shocked. Especially Cumber, who never imagined that a Saiyan speed could reach this level. This Saiyan named Lin Chen, was he truly a Saiyan? Or some other life form disguised as a Saiyan? This guy is really hard to deal with, Hearts remarked casually. Even he could only see sonic booms appearing in mid-air, unable to fully follow Lin Chen's movements. Yet Hearts didn't mind because no matter how fast Lin Chen was, he had his ways to deal with him. Under relentless attacks, Lin Chen once again kicked Zamasu in the abdomen, sending him flying like a cannonball into the sky. At the same time, Lin Chen flashed back to his original position, appearing above Zamasu's head. With a back spin, he kicked Zamasu back to the ground. As Zamasu's body crashed heavily onto the ground like a meteor, he was completely unable to move. Although Zamasu possessed immortality, the series of blows from Lin Chen had dealt a heavy blow to his spirit. It almost shattered Zamasu's pride as a god. Compared to physical injuries, this was much more fatal. It's over. Lin Chen raised the black sickle of sorrow, infusing it with power of destruction, preparing for the final blow against Zamasu. But at that moment, there suddenly came the sound of intense ground shaking from nearby. Lin Chen turned around and saw that a massive warrior had suddenly appeared on the ground. This warrior's figure bore a 70 to 80% resemblance to the previous fused warrior, Kamehameha. What's going on? Lin Chen was stunned for a moment. Universe 7 Supreme Kai, Shin, shouted, "Mr. Lin Chen, be careful. Hearts just injected something into Kamehameha's body." Something? At that moment, a terrifying aura erupted out, causing Kamehameha, now transformed into a giant, to swell in strength several times over. Blue and red lightning danced above his head, distorting the space around his massive body due to the incredible power. Just his presence alone sent shivers down the spines of everyone on Earth. Hearts laughed heartily. Kamen, Oren. Let them witness the power of the universe seed. The now monstrous Kamehameha let out a dual-toned roar of anger. Then, he slowly extended his palm, a swirling purple energy wave forming above his hand. Boom! The energy wave was aimed at Lin Chen. In order to avoid being hit, Lin Chen had no choice but to temporarily throw away Zamasu and step back to evade. But immediately, Kamehameha chased after him. Despite his massive size, Kamehameha moved swiftly, especially with his two antennae on his head acting like additional arms. Not only was he incredibly fast, but his limbs could also extend indefinitely, resembling two agile serpents chasing after Lin Chen. Meanwhile, as Lin Chen and the giant Kamehameha tangled in combat, Zamasu, who had lost the will to fight, was saved by Hearts. "Thank you," Zamasu muttered, head bowed in gratitude. This alone showed how severely Lin Chen had shattered his confidence. In the past, Zamasu would not only not show gratitude but might even hurl insults at Hearts. After all, how could a deity accept help from a human? But at this moment, Zamasu heard Hearts say, "Thanks is not necessary. Just hand over your life." Huh? As Zamasu looked up, he saw Hearts reaching out and grabbing his neck with an indifferent expression. Golden light shimmered in Heart's hand, and Zamasu realized that he, the so-called deity, was completely powerless against Hearts. And a hint of fear crept into him. "Hearts, what are you doing?" "Zamasu, I'm very interested in your power of immortality," Hearts declared. "What?" "Hearts. I'm your companion. Zamasu shouted. He he he. Hearts chuckled. Zamasu, to complete Master's mission, I had this plan from the moment I chose you as my companion. Master said that your power of miracles can enhance the strength of the universe seed. Otherwise, why would a godslayer like me choose a god like you as a companion? It was all for this moment. The moment the words fell, a golden light emerged from all over Heart's body, and then he clenched his fist. Next moment, Zamasu's neck was crushed like a sponge. However, Zamasu hadn't died yet, the power of immortality kept him stubbornly alive. But then, colorful cubes suddenly appeared. These cubes flew towards Zamasu, assembling around him. One by one, they gradually formed a larger cube. Hearts. I will make you pay. Seeing the space around him gradually filling up with cubes, Zamasu screamed in despair. At the same time, his entire body ignited with the last of his power, and a rose-colored godly ki crazily erupted out. But facing all this, Hearts only wore a mocking expression. All right, Zamasu, I will remember your contribution. Bang! The final cube filled the gap. And just as Zamasu's aura had erupted, it vanished without a sound as the gap disappeared. Immediately after, the cube, which was originally as tall as a person, began to shrink. In the end, it became only the size of a palm before falling into Heart's hands. Gone, Zamasu is gone. The people in the distance were all astonished. Lin Chen, who was fighting Kamehameha, couldn't help but fly over. Hearts, did you kill Zamasu just like that? Hearing this, Hearts smiled and shifted his gaze to Lin Chen. Lin Chen, Zamasu's fate is what awaits you. Kamehameha, kill them, let them become the nourishment for the universe seed. The huge Kamehameha immediately rushed towards Lin Chen, engaging in battle once again. Meanwhile, Hearts, holding the cube that used to be Zamasu, flew towards the huge crystal above the royal capital. Seeing Heart's actions, Jiren and the others focused, quickly discussing. Tokpo, it seems Hearts has a plan. Lin Chen is occupied now, let's go deal with him. Understood. Not only Jiren and Tokpo but also Hit from Universe 6 and Broly flew towards Hearts. However, before they could get close, they were intercepted by someone. Stop. I won't let you disturb Hearts. Be careful, this guy is powerful. Broly's expression changed immediately upon seeing the opponent because the person before him was none other than Cumber, who had made him lose his rationality. As an evil Saiyan, Cumber inherently had an advantage over almost all Saiyans. Broly was deeply afraid of being influenced by his evil aura again, looking cautious and vigilant. But just then, another person stepped forward. I'll take care of this guy, you guys go after Hearts. Jiren. The one who stepped out was Jiren. However, unlike his usual calm demeanor, Jiren now had a furious expression as he glared at Cumber. The intense killing intent emanating from him could even be felt by those around him. Jiren, what's gotten into you? Tokpo asked. He's the one who killed Jiken. Jiren said coldly. Him. Tokpo was momentarily stunned. I'd recognize him even if he turned to ashes. Huh. Cumber, seeing Jiren standing in front of him, also blinked in surprise. Unlike Jiren, though, Cumber didn't recognize him. Back then, after killing Jiken and stealing his life stone, Cumber hastily left, having only a brief encounter with Jiren. Cumber had long forgotten about that matter, but Jiren never forgot. Just you alone, trying to stop me? Ridiculous. Cumber snorted coldly, and two illusory large hands flew out from behind him, grabbing towards Jiren. But Jiren's gaze still remained fixed on Cumber. As the large hands approached, his body moved on its own. With two punches, he directly shattered Cumber's disaster claws. I said, he's mine, you guys go after Hearts. Jiren shouted again. Upon hearing this, Tokpo no longer hesitated and chased after Hearts. With him taking the lead, others followed suit. Cumber, seeing this, wanted to stop them but was stopped by Jiren. Your opponent is me. Have we met before? A long time ago, in Universe 11, you killed my master Jiken. Upon hearing this, Cumber finally remembered, oh, Universe 11. I remember now, you're that old man's disciple. Humph. That old man couldn't last 3 moves against me, and neither will you. Jiren didn't waste words, he directly retaliated with his fist. An invisible shockwave swept out, directly sending Cumber flying. Meanwhile, Hearts had already arrived near the crystal. He stretched out his hand, about to send the cube that used to be Zamasu into the crystal, but his eyebrows suddenly raised. Underneath Heart's feet, Broly and the others had caught up. Upon seeing this, Hearts looked disdainful, trying to stop me. You're not worthy. Small cubes suddenly appeared around Hearts. The appearance of these cubes was identical to when Zamasu was killed earlier. Seeing this, everyone stopped in their tracks, not daring to rashly make a move. But soon, led by Broly, each person unleashed their ultimate techniques, directly attacking Hearts. However, Hearts didn't even look at them, he just snapped his fingers, and the cubes behind him transformed into a wall, blocking all the ki blasts. Meanwhile, Hearts himself approached the crystal and stuffed Zamasu's cube into it. Ha ha ha. The final key is almost complete. The perfect universe seed is about to be born. As the cube entered the crystal, a golden light suddenly emitted from the crystal, and the smile on Heart's face grew stronger. But soon, the golden light disappeared. Zamasu's cube was gone, but the crystal showed no changes. Upon seeing this, the smile on Heart's face instantly vanished. It's still missing a bit. Could it be because of the power Cameron absorbed just now? He turned his icy gaze towards Lin Chen. At this moment, although Cameron was releasing energy waves wildly, Lin Chen easily dodged these attacks. Instead, cracks began to appear on the red gemstone on his chest under Lin Chen's continuous attacks. Since you can't defeat Lin Chen, then give back the precious power. Hearts reached out towards Cameron. The next moment, a dazzling yellow light burst out from the red gemstone on Cameron's chest. For some reason, Cameron's body seemed like a leaky funnel, leaking energy everywhere. No. What's happening? My power. My origin. Lord Hearts. At this moment, cries for help echoed from Cameron, but Hearts remained unmoved. Instead, he laughed madly, Kamen, Orin. I will use your lives as sacrifices for the birth of the universe seed. Come forth. Universe seed. Rumble. A towering pillar of light erupted from behind Hearts. The crystal that was floating behind him suddenly began to disintegrate, revealing a radiant, rainbow-colored energy sphere within. This energy sphere was none other than the source of the universe seed. In addition to this rainbow-colored energy sphere, there were 12 green orbs within the crystal. These 12 green orbs represented the energy of 12 universes. Under the illumination of this pillar of light, the 12 green orbs flew towards Hearts along with the universe seed, entering his body. Simultaneously, the golden pillar of light also flew into Heart's body, being absorbed and assimilated by him. Heart's body also began to emit a golden light, and his energy skyrocketed. On the other hand, on Cameron's side, the screams of agony continued. Cameron's colossal body was slowly dissolving, converging into a stream of light that flew into Heart's body. Seeing the sudden change on the battlefield, Lin Chen also halted. He hadn't expected Hearts to be so ruthless. Not only did he sacrifice Zamasu, but now he sacrificed the twin siblings as well. He had done so much, finally unleashing the universe seed, but what exactly was it? Although Hearts had just claimed that he could rely on the universe seed to eliminate Zeno, Lin Chen didn't believe it. Because he could sense that while Heart's power had greatly increased compared to before, there was still a disparity, not just with Zeno but even with the Grand Priest. So, what did he intend to achieve with all this? As Lin Chen pondered with a doubtful look, hearts began to descend, finally landing near the slowly vanishing Kamehameha. Kamen, give me back the universe seed I gave you just now. Hearts reached out towards Kamehameha, and soon, from within Kamehameha's almost formless body, a crystal emitting a golden light flew out. While emitting a rainbow light, the crystal floated into Heart's chest. The next moment, the crystal merged with Heart's, and at that moment, Heart seemed to have been electrocuted, with his entire body radiating even more golden light. The 12 green orbs that had previously merged with Heart's body flew out, rapidly spinning around him. Sharp bone spurs emerged from Heart's back. Witnessing Heart's dramatic transformation and his aura steadily rising, Lin Chen realized that from being roughly comparable to fused Zamasu initially, Heart's strength now had surpassed that of an ordinary god of destruction, and it was still rising. What was even more astonishing was that from Heart's, Lin Chen could sense a strong power of law. Under the influence of this power of law, it seemed like something was changing in the galaxy where Planet Vegeta was located. At that moment, Hearts turned his gaze towards Lin Chen and the others, scanning each one of them. Alright, everyone, let's end this immediately. I still have to go and kill Zeno. In the next moment, without Hearts seemingly doing anything, including Lin Chen and the others, everyone suddenly felt a weight pressing down on their bodies, and they began to plummet towards the ground. Those with weaker strength, like Kaba, simply fell flat on the ground. And those slightly powerful, like Hit, managed to stay suspended in mid-air, slightly bent over, struggling against this unseen force. What's happening? My body feels so heavy. Lin Chen also struggled against this force, feeling as if his body had suddenly become hundreds of times heavier, making even breathing difficult. This, law of gravity. You got it. Hearts snapped his fingers. In front of me, super Hearts, even gods will be crushed by gravity and kneel before me. Come. All of you, kneel before me. As Heart spoke, everyone, including Jiren fiercely battling Cumber in the distance and Lin Chen, fell to the ground. The immense power forced everyone to bend down, almost kneeling down. But just then, a shocking aura suddenly erupted out. Several power of laws swept through the sky, cutting out an area unaffected by Heart's law of gravity. And that area happened to be where Lin Chen and the others stood. Immediately, those who had struggled to stand up straight before now did so effortlessly. Humph. Just because of a law of gravity, you think you can slay gods? Lin Chen's voice resounded in that area. At that moment, Hearts realized that around Lin Chen, 5 power of law, destruction, creation, miracle, time, and space, had erupted out. It was these 5 power of laws combined that neutralized Heart's gravitational space. Due to Heart suppression, Lin Chen held nothing back and unleashed his full power. Sickle of Sorrow. After uttering these words lightly, the pitch-black sickle of sorrow appeared in Lin Chen's hand. Infused with the power of destruction, it emitted a layer of purple light. Break! With the sickle of sorrow, Lin Chen rapidly charged towards Hearts in the sky. Facing the attack, Hearts furrowed his brow. He could sense that Lin Chen's power of destruction had reached a perfection level. Empowered by the power of destruction, the black sickle of sorrow could not only cut through everything but even severe laws. His law of gravity couldn't stop it. Gritting his teeth, Hearts made the 12 green orbs on his back move swiftly, hurtling towards Lin Chen. These 12 green orbs were equivalent to the seeds of 12 universes that have not yet fully grown, harboring energy that was not to be underestimated, potentially stronger than power of laws. Under Heart's control, the 12 green orbs formed a defensive formation, colliding directly with Lin Chen's sickle of sorrow. Boom! 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 As expected, the 12 green orbs were not cut by the sickle of sorrow, they merely bounced back. On the other hand, Lin Chen's black sickle of sorrow was shattered by these 12 green orbs. Even though he was surprised, Lin Chen didn't hesitate. He dropped the dissipating black sickle of sorrow, but his feet never stopped moving. He charged directly at Hearts and threw a punch. Boom! The collision between fists produced a terrifying muffled sound, shaking the heavens and the earth, and causing the surrounding buildings to collapse and crumble. If Planet Vegeta hadn't been reinforced by the Divine Dragon before, this single strike might have had the potential to destroy the entire planet. This clash also showed Lin Chen the strength of super hearts. Although it was still far from the realm of killing Zeno. At this moment, heart strength had even surpassed that of Jiren. Back in the Tournament of Power, when facing Jiren, Lin Chen had used all means, including Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct kill. Now, facing hearts, it seemed that Lin Chen had no other choice. But did he really have to reveal all his trump cards here? Thinking about the consequences of using Ultra Ego, Lin Chen started to hesitate. During the battle between Lin Chen and Hearts, in another corner of the royal capital, explosions continued to resound. Two opponents with similar fighting styles were engaged in a head-on confrontation. Wherever they went, it was as if a tornado had swept through, leaving nothing but ruins and debris. Even the ground was full of craters, as if it had weathered a meteor shower. Because the battle was so intense, both of them were completely absorbed, unaware of the escalating situation in the distance. After blocking an attack from Cumber, Jiren didn't hesitate at all and immediately lifted his leg to kick at Cumber. A black arc streaked through the air, and before Cumber could dodge, his waist caved in. With a violent impact, Cumber's burly figure was sent flying, crashing through several buildings before finally coming to a halt. But, despite the tremendous power of the attack, Cumber quickly got up, casually dusting himself off as if the attack hadn't affected him at all. Not bad. Cumber sneered, brushing off the dust from his body. So, that old man was your master. You're much stronger than him. But your outcome won't be any different from him. Cumber tightly clenched his fists, and in the next moment, a dark red aura burst forth from his body as he transformed into Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan. Jiren recognized it but showed no change in expression, simply tearing off his team uniform to reveal a body full of muscles. Cumber. I will avenge my master. The next moment, the air around Jiren seemed to ignite, emitting a fiery red glow. Simultaneously, he stomped his foot, transforming into a streak of red light that vanished from the spot. When Jiren reappeared, he was already standing in front of Cumber as he delivered a thunderous punch. So fast. Cumber was surprised and couldn't react in time, so he crossed his fists in front of him, taking Jiren's blow head-on. Even though he had transformed into a Super Saiyan, Cumber was still almost knocked senseless by Jiren's punch. But it wasn't over yet. Jiren's follow-up attack had already arrived. Still reeling from the initial blow, Cumber could only defend himself with his arms, enduring stronger and stronger attacks. The air echoed with intense collisions, and Cumber's legs left trails on the ground. As a dignified evil Saiyan, Cumber couldn't just let Jiren continue attacking him like this. After several seconds of passive defense, two evil claws suddenly emerged from behind Cumber and lunged at Jiren's back. Jiren instinctively stopped his attack and turned to deal with the claws. Thud, thud. After two punches, the evil claws were crushed under his fists. Although his attack didn't succeed, Cumber saw an opportunity to break free. By the time Jiren realized, Cumber had disappeared before reappearing behind him. A powerful punch struck Jiren's face, giving him a taste of his own medicine. Bang! Although it hit, Cumber was even more terrified than before. Because he saw that despite unleashing a punch with tenfold power, Jiren only took half a step back, his body tilting slightly, seemingly unharmed. Brat! Seeing his attack fail, Cumber roared in frustration. But Jiren didn't waste any words and responded to Cumber with a punch of his own. This punch was almost an exact replica of Cumber's previous one. Jiren's punch similarly landed on Cumber's face, almost shattering his mask. But unlike Jiren's previous nonchalant demeanor, Cumber was sent crashing to the ground. Seeing Cumber lying on the ground, Jiren didn't pursue further but instead looked down at him silently. Although his face remained expressionless as usual, Jiren's heart was turbulent. So many years, he had waited for this day to avenge his master. Jiken, can you see this? Jiren's indifferent demeanor completely infuriated Cumber. After a furious roar, Cumber slammed both palms against the ground, using the rebound force to jump up. Then, the red-black aura around him swelled again. Crackle. The mask on Cumber's face, already cracked, completely shattered at this moment. It was then that Cumber's aura acted like opening the valve of a fountain, erupting completely. Jiren. My mask was a special device to suppress my power. Now that you've shattered it, get ready to regret it. As if to validate Cumber's words, powerful waves of energy swept out from his body. The earth trembled, and spider web-like cracks spread out in all directions from under Cumber's feet. Under Jiren's gaze, Cumber's golden hair began to visibly grow longer at a rapid pace. But his eyebrows disappeared. Hiss. As the evil energy inside Cumber continued to gather and compress, numerous black lightning appeared in the red-black aura around him. If Lin Chen and the others were present, they would recognize that Cumber had transformed into Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 could increase power level by several hundred times. Cumber, who was already comparable to a Super Saiyan god in his normal state, now possessed a power that was scalp-tingling, making even Jiren in battle form no match for him. After completing his transformation, Cumber raised his head and evilly smirked at Jiren. In the next moment, he charged at Jiren with overwhelming force. Ha! As he reached Jiren, Cumber threw a punch, and Jiren, not backing down, met it with his own fist. But this time, Jiren was indeed at a disadvantage. In just an instant, Jiren was sent flying by the powerful impact. After leaving a long gully on the ground with his feet, Jiren finally stabilized himself. He's really much stronger. Jiren muttered softly, showing no signs of fear. However, strangely enough, Jiren then stopped his offensive and retracted the fiery aura surrounding him. Seeing this, Cumber looked surprised. What are you doing? Are you giving up and admitting defeat? Although he said that, Cumber had no intention of stopping. With a strange shout, he once again rushed towards Jiren. But then, just as Cumber's figure was about to reach Jiren, Jiren's eyes suddenly opened wide, and a silver-white aura descended upon him. At the moment when Cumber's figure was about to hit him, Jiren's body moved mysteriously, evading Cumber's attack at the last second and then striking back with his fist aimed at Cumber's heart. Splat! Blood sprayed everywhere. Jiren had upheld his principle of not killing for who knows how many years, but now it was broken. Ultra instinct. Cumber reverted to his normal state, his eyes bloodshot, a look of disbelief on his face. You can use Ultra Instinct? A mouthful of blood spilled out from Cumber's mouth. Using the last of his strength, he grabbed onto Jiren's shoulder. If I had known that you could use Ultra Instinct, I wouldn't have fought you. I hid for tens of thousands of years, never thought that today. Amidst endless unwillingness, this Saiyan who once disrupted 2 universes, the Saiyan demon hidden in history, ceased to breathe. Is he dead? Jiren looked at the gaping hole in Cumber's chest and reverted from Ultra Instinct. At this moment, he felt a sense of relief. A sense of liberation from the guilt that had lasted for millennia. However, Jiren didn't relax for long. Soon after ending the battle, he realized that at the other end of the planet, a terrifying aura had appeared. This aura didn't belong to Lin Chen, so it could only come from that guy named Hearts. And the power this person was displaying now seemed even stronger than the Super Saiyan 3 Cumber from earlier. Without hesitation, Jiren immediately rushed towards their direction. Boom! 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 After several flashes and explosions, the sky calmed down again. Super Hearts looked at Lin Chen wiping the blood from his face, laughing triumphantly. You are truly remarkable. Among the many strong fighters I've seen, your strength can enter the top 5. The weakest among the top 4 is at the level of Grand Priest. Heart spoke with an air of superiority. In fact, after absorbing the energy from the universe seed, Hearts considered himself to have surpassed even the angels, and maybe even Grand Priest, capable of standing on equal footing with Zeno. It must be said that Hearts is like a frog in a well, but it couldn't be helped. The strength disparity between him and Grand Priest was so vast that he couldn't accurately assess their true levels. So, in Lin Chen's eyes, Hearts was nothing much. If it weren't for him preserving strength to deal with the trouble on Kranoa's side, Lin Chen could have dealt with him at any time. But now the problem arose. Heart's strength was precisely at the point between Lin Chen's most powerful state and the power he displayed after using Ultra Ego. This made Lin Chen somewhat hesitant. Lin Chen, ever since I knew you could defeat Cumber, I knew you were a formidable opponent. But I feel like your power shouldn't be used for those deities. You're human too. Don't you want to fight for the fate and freedom of humanity? Hearts, don't you find your words ridiculous? Lin Chen shook his head, a hint of mockery in his eyes. Moreover, do you think anyone would want to ally with you after seeing what you did to Zamasu and others? Hearts wasn't surprised. That's a pity. Although I had high hopes for you, since you're unwilling to stand with me. Shaking his head, Hearts went straight to action. Be careful. The people on the side suddenly shouted, and Lin Chen looked up to see that a huge cube had appeared above them at some point. Immediately after, an astonishing power descended upon them. It was Heart's law of gravity again. But this time, Heart's law of gravity was so powerful that even Lin Chen couldn't resist. It was the kind of super-gravity that can even affect the air. Boom! 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 Lin Chen and the others behind him were pinned to the ground by gravity, unable to move at all due to the immense pressure. At the same time, colorful cubes appeared around them, trapping them inside while forming cube walls around them. This move was just like Heart's method of killing Zamasu. This is bad. We can't let these cubes trap us. We must find a way out. All of them, unwilling to be trapped, erupted out with all their power, trying to break free from Heart's gravity cage. Struggle all you want. My power is beyond your imagination. Let's see how long you can hold on. The immense energy output caused the gravity on the people to increase once again. Finally, someone passed out due to the powerful gravity. Some completely lost the ability to resist, lying on the ground, shouting despairingly to Lin Chen, Mr. Lin Chen. Don't you have other powers? Why aren't you using them? Other powers? Hearts tilted his head as if listening to something. Then he said, oh. Does Lin Chen have other forms? Ultra Ego? What is that? Lin Chen, why don't you let me broaden my horizons? You can hear what we're thinking. Faced with Heart's provocation, Lin Chen gritted his teeth, still unable to make a decision. But just then, a silver figure rushed over, and a red punch almost hit Hearts, causing him to step back a few steps. Jiren. After Hearts was hit, the gravity pressing down on everyone suddenly weakened a bit. Someone looked up and immediately exclaimed in surprise. The one who attacked Hearts was Jiren, who had just been fighting Cumber in the distance. It's you. Hearts was somewhat surprised to see Jiren. You appearing here, does it mean Cumber is dead? You can go ask him in hell. Jiren roared angrily, his fists preparing to strike Hearts like machine guns. However, at this moment, Jiren's expression suddenly changed, and he swiftly dodged to the side and then retreated rapidly. What's going on? Ultra Instinct had a reaction. He attacked me just now. Jiren was puzzled, while Hearts was also surprised that Jiren had dodged his attack. Hearts tilted his head, listened for a moment, and then said, Ultra Instinct. A realm where one can dodge all attacks. A technique of the angel race? Interesting. Just before I challenge the Grand Priest, let me practice with you. Hearts raised his hands, and the 12 green orbs behind him emitted a strange light. Then, a huge golden cube appeared in front of Jiren. While Jiren was on high alert, the golden cube suddenly collapsed from the inside out. Super gravity well. Under the sudden burst of power from Hearts, the massive cube turned into a black hole, and the immense suction force from the black hole directly pulled Jiren towards its center. Oh no! Jiren's expression drastically changed as he desperately tried to break free from the power of the black hole. Faced with this omnidirectional attack, his ultra instinct was completely ineffective, and he could only rely on his own strength. But how could Jiren's strength alone compare to Hearts, who had absorbed the energy of 12 universes? In the stalemate, his body began to be dragged bit by bit towards the black hole. Ultra instinct indeed allows the user to dodge 100%, but against Heart's current technique, ultra instinct was completely ineffective. Jiren was completely trapped by Heart's black hole. Although he could hold on for a while, the black hole wouldn't disappear unless it swallowed Jiren. He. Did you see that? This is my power. In front of Universe Seed's power, ultra instinct is nothing. Amidst Heart's evil laughter, the people below also had a drastic change in expression. No one had expected that even Jiren, who had mastered ultra instinct, would fall into trouble. Seeing the situation deteriorate like this, someone couldn't help but call out to Lin Chen, "Mr. Lin Chen, please use your ultra ego. An ultra instinct kill. Please." Broly also shouted, "Brother Lynx. Does he really have to use that technique?" Lin Chen still couldn't make a decision. Ultra ego and ultra instinct kill were Lin Chen's true last resort. Although he was confident that once used, he could defeat Hearts, the problem was that after using ultra ego, his power would be severely depleted. Stamina was one thing, there was Supreme Kai Shin nearby who could help. But the consumption of divine power required time to replenish. But now the situation was critical, and Lin Chen seemed to have no other choice. Just as Lin Chen was in a dilemma, Broly frowned. Seeing Lin Chen hesitate to use his full power, everyone else was confused, but Broly could vaguely guess the reason. Is Brother Lynx worried about Kakarot and the others? He must be. Broly clenched his fist and shouted to Lin Chen, "Brother Lynx. If you're worried about your stamina, let's fuse." Fuse? Lin Chen suddenly turned his head and looked at Broly, feeling ecstatic. Right. There's still this move. No need to use Ultra Ego, they can defeat Hearts with this move. What? Fuse? Oh, fusion. Hearts looked somewhat surprised at Lin Chen and the others but didn't do anything. Let me witness your final struggle. My power is not something you can compare with. Seeing that Lin Chen seemed to agree, Broly didn't hesitate and immediately shouted to Supreme Kai Shin nearby, "Supreme Kai-sama, lend us your Potera earrings." "I can, but I can't move." Shin lay on the ground, helpless. He couldn't even take off his own earrings, let alone give them to others. Fortunately, Potera earrings were something Lin Chen also had. Reaching into his pocket, Lin Chen took out the indestructible Potera earrings he obtained from the system. This thing was very fortunate. It had been lent to others by Lin Chen in the past, so it was one of the few items that didn't disappear due to the system's disappearance. Lin Chen put on an earring for himself and then used divine power to create a small space-time door in the palm of his hand. The space-time door was extremely small, but because of the concentration of power, it could still function under Heart's law of gravity, and it was just the right size to pass an earring. Lin Chen directly sent the other Potera earring into it. The next moment, the earring was in Broly's hand. "Broly, this is my first time doing this." Lin Chen smiled slightly. This was Lin Chen's first time using the earrings, as well as his first fusion with someone, so he had no idea what it would feel like. Broly smirked and struggled to put on the earring. It was actually his first time too, but Broly had seen Lin Luo and Taro, Kefla and Kale fuse more than once, so he knew how to wear the earrings. Buzz, a terrifying aura suddenly descended from the sky without warning, causing the entire planet to shake violently. Under this aura's impact, Heart's gravity cage unexpectedly developed cracks and they began to spread. What? Hearts, who had been concentrating on controlling the black hole, was greatly surprised. Although he had known that Lin Chen wanted to fuse with Broly, he hadn't expected that after they fused, such a terrifying power would erupt. Crack! With a loud and clear sound, Heart's gravity cage was shattered, turning into endless fragments and disappearing without a trace. Not only the gravity cage trapping Lin Chen and Broly but almost all the cages above everyone's heads disintegrated. Feeling their bodies become lighter, everyone jumped up, then turned to look to the side, only to be shocked. A muscular figure, almost 2 meters tall, had appeared in front of them. This figure combined Lin Chen and Broly's features, with a shocking beast-like appearance. So this is fusion. Lin Chen and Broly's fusion, should I call it Linli then? Roly? But it doesn't sound very impressive. Oh well, whatever. The fused warrior called Linli murmured with a voice mixed between Lin Chen and Broly, then looked up at Hearts. Hearts, are you ready to die? In the sky, Hearts looked serious. Is this fusion? This level of power? I take back what I said earlier. It seems that your power can probably rival the Grand Priest's. But compared to me, it's still a bit lacking. A bit lacking? He, Hearts, I will make you understand that my strength is far beyond your comprehension. After saying that, Linli suddenly clenched both fists, and in an instant, a red energy flashed on his body. Under the flash, apart from his head, chest, and palms, Linli's body was covered in red fur, his physique even more robust than before, filled with Saiyans' beastly nature. Then, a shining green energy sphere was thrown, flying straight into the black hole that was trapping Jiren. The next moment, a terrifying explosion occurred in the black hole, resembling the explosion of a supernova. From the inside out, the explosion of the energy actually reversed and consumed the black hole. What? Seeing this scene, Hearts was astonished. Because just now, Linli didn't use any power of law or godly ki, just relying on energy alone, he actually broke through his power of law. Can a human really unleash this kind of energy? Released from confinement, Jiren immediately took a few steps back, his gaze then falling on Linli. And he was also equally shocked. Although Linli hadn't used Ultra Ego or Ultra Instinct Kill, Jiren, like Hearts, could feel the unfathomable and astonishing power emanating from Linli, like an ancient behemoth. Lin Chen. You actually possess such power? Jiren exclaimed in astonishment. I just remembered that I can also do this, Linli smiled, then turned to look at Hearts. Hearts, let's end this quickly. I have other things to attend to. In the next moment, a bright green Kamehameha burst out. The intense power made Hearts feel an unprecedented sense of crisis. This sense of crisis, however, only fueled Hearts' anger. Impossible. I am the man who will kill Zeno. How could I fear a mere human? Hearts instantly unleashed the power within him, transforming it into countless colorful cubes. Gravity burst. The colorful cubes whistled towards Linli's Kamehameha, combining in a brief moment to form a massive gravity cage. Linli's Kamehameha was trapped by this gravity cage, completely cut off from the outside world. Disappear. With a hand gesture from Hearts, as if his words held power, the gravity cage immediately began to shrink, turning the trapped energy into nothingness. It was a very subtle application of the law of gravity. If classified according to the system, Hearts' law of gravity had at least reached advanced level of mastery, fully capable of rivaling deities. So his desire to challenge the gods wasn't just spouting bullshit. But unfortunately, Hearts overestimated his own strength, or rather, the power of the universe seed. You can block energy attacks, but can you also block my fists, Hearts? Linli immediately charged forward, massive energy gathering on his fist. Want to fight up close? Hearts pushed his left hand towards Lin Chen, and immediately afterwards, a gravity cube imbued with the law of gravity shot towards Lin Chen. This gravity cube was invisible, something made purely from laws. Jiren and the others might not perceive it, but Linli, who was half Lin Chen, captured the trajectory of the power of law in the air. His aura surged, a red light appearing atop his bright green aura. Super Kaioken. The burst of power allowed Linli to break through with sheer force, completely ignoring Heart's gravity cube and landing a punch on his face. The blow left Hearts dizzy. How is this possible? Hearts was shocked. At the same time, he heard a voice in his mind, the next move is a left hook. Watch out. What? Hearts tried to dodge, but Linli's left hook had already connected, disrupting his balance, and sending him flying backward. Hearts was shocked. He knew Linli's next move, yet he couldn't keep up. The ability to hear others' thoughts was Heart's innate ability, giving him a strategic advantage in battles, as if he could foresee the enemy's moves in advance. But facing Linli, Heart's skill failed. Linli's fierce attacks continued, relentlessly pummeling Hearts from various angles and positions in midair. Although he could hear Linli's thoughts, he couldn't react in time. PFF. Linli's powerful fist made Hearts spat out blood, and like a kite with a broken string, his body plummeted down. Easily overpowering Hearts, Linli stood still in midair, him looking akin to a war god in the eyes of others. This scene left everyone present in utter shock. After fusing with Potera earrings, they knew they would become stronger, but who could have imagined that the fusion of Lin Chen and Broly would become so powerful? An opponent even Jiren struggled to handle before is now being taught a lesson by Linli as if a father disciplining a child. It was somewhat unimaginable for them. Damn it! A furious roar erupted as Hearts stood up from the ground. Having absorbed the power of the universe seed, he had naturally surpassed the angels. But even then, he was beaten up by Linli's fists, which was a blow to his pride. I am the man who will slaughter gods. How can I be defeated like this by a mere human? Terrifying power suddenly erupted as a golden light emitted from Hearts, causing his power level to skyrocket once again. At the same time, the gravity around Hearts began to act strangely, exerting a force that sought to pull everything towards him, crazily suppressing everyone around him. And just then, the sky lost its color in an instant, and a meteor with a diameter of hundreds of kilometers suddenly appeared high above in the sky. This meteor, after Hearts fused with the universe seed, had been pulled from outer space using the law of gravity towards Planet Vegeta. For the freedom of humanity, disappear. God Meteor. Witnessing the meteor plummeting towards the atmosphere, not just Linli and others, but everyone on Planet Vegeta also saw it. After all, it was a massive meteor of hundreds of kilometers, impossible for others to overlook. As they watched the meteor gradually descend, everyone on Planet Vegeta couldn't help but pray. They hoped their king could turn the tide. Their hopes were not in vain. Facing the incoming meteor, Linli's expression only became serious for a brief moment, then his mouth curled slightly upwards. Could a single meteor scare him? A surge of overwhelming power erupted out, spreading a formidable pressure throughout the sky. Ka-me-ha-me. With each word uttered from his mouth, the energy between Linli's palms accumulated more and more. In the eyes of others, the power of this attack could probably shatter the sun. Feeling the immense threat from Linli, Hearts also exerted all his energy, channeling it into the meteor. In an instant, the meteor, which had already turned red from crossing the atmosphere, turned deep red like a blood moon, illuminating the entire planet. Its eerie appearance almost made the people on the planet feel despair. I refuse to believe you can destroy my god meteor. Hearts roared, channeling all his power into the meteor. He wanted to use all his power to eliminate Lin Chen. God-slaying will begin from Planet Vegeta. But just then, Linli also uttered the final word. Ha! With a fierce roar erupted, Lin suddenly thrust forward his hands and a bright green pillar of light shot straight into the sky. Boom! A violent rumble shook the planet. The meteor, under Hart's law of gravity, collided head-on with the pillar of light, causing the surface of the planet to crack. How is this possible? With my added gravitational force, the mass of the meteor has surpassed that of the sun. This was Hart's attack with all his strength, capable of destroying everything, yet it couldn't withstand Lin's energy wave. Boom! The immense power finally penetrated the meteor completely, rushing out of Planet Vegeta. And under this force, the huge meteor began to crack and split apart.